You hot in here?
Okay.
Alright. Usually get stuffy in here, so I'm turn the air down.
I know Mike Phillips real well. Does he work here?
Mike Phillips.
Or is he not sheriff? I always get that confused.
It was a Ted Phillips. Alright, what's your name?
Denise Winchester.
What's your birthday?
3770
And what's your address?
5017 Centennial Oaks Circle.
That's,
08.
what's a good phone number for you?
850-509-5545.
Alright, and what's your husband's name?
Brian, B-R-I-A-N,
Mm-hmm.
Winchester.
What's his birthday?
102770.
And where is he living now?
He lives on Miller Landing Road, but I don't remember the number.
Do you know his cell phone number?
850-509-0040.
Do you know what company that is, the cell phone provider?
It was Brian.
Alright, I know you talked a little bit to Deputy Hibbert. Just give me a rundown on what happened today.
We're almost in the 4th year of our separation and divorce. Another divorce date is looming Wednesday. I'll just tell you about what happened today, okay? So I go out to my car to go to work. I work at FSU. I've turned out on Miccosukee Road, and
From
this,
Centennial Oaks?
yeah.
What kind of car do you have?
It's a Suburban,
What color?
gold, like that old, it's like 2002. So I walked out of my house about 9:10. So then I pulled out on Miccosukee Road. I was calling my sister, and this person starts climbing out of the very back, and I couldn't tell at first who it was, but then immediately I knew who it was, but I was screaming in the phone, help me. I didn't know if she had picked up yet or not. So I was screaming, help me, and then he grabbed the phone. So I don't know if he turned it off. I don't know how. I never saw the phone again. But he was up and grabbing me, and he pulled my face pretty hard, and he goes, he's cussing, you will turn here, you will turn here, blah, 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 and I kept going straight down Miccosukee, and I didn't do what he told me to do. So then he goes, I'm going to effing hurt you if you don't, you turn here, and I kept going straight again. And I turned around and I go, what do you mean hurt me? And he pulled out a gun, like a gun, not a hunting gun, but like a gun he would kill someone with, and he put it right here in my ribs. He put it right here, and he goes, with this, and he pressed it in there. You will turn. Well, I kept, in my head, I was like, I'm making it to CVS, because that's our CVS, and I was just like, I'm making it to CVS. So he put it right there. He was screaming, and so I didn't know if I should go in the ditch. Like, I didn't know what to do, and but I kept driving. So anyway.
Where was he when this happened?
Where was he?
Did he climb?
Yeah, he was over me. Yeah, he climbed out from the back. It's two, and then a back, and then the seat, and then a back. So he was in the back, I guess, hiding. And then when he came out, he came up to right behind me. So like I'm driving, and he's right here, and then the gun's right here. So he's right here.
Did you see what the gun looked like? Like what color it was, or?
I mean, it was dark. But it was like a handgun, I guess.
Okay.
But it was dark.
Dark colored?
Yeah. But anyway, so then I pulled into CVS, and he was like, turn here, because CVS has like back parking, and he took the wheel and was trying to force it to turn, and I don't know how, but I just like took the wheel back. I mean, and the fact that we didn't wreck was unbelievable, and I took it back, and I parked right at the front door in the spot that was right against the grass, so like the camera's right there, like I knew, because I go there all the time, that there are cameras there. So I parked right there at the front.
And this is the one on Capitol Circle in Miccosukee?
Right, so we were probably there at like 9:17 or so, I would, because probably. And so we pulled in, and he said, and he kept saying, I just want to talk to you, because he's been emailing me, texting me. I blocked him off everything, trying to get me to stop the divorce. I just want to talk to you, And I turned around and I go, I will talk to you from right here, because he was trying to get me to move the car. I will talk to you from right here, and that's it.
So he wanted you to get in the back with him?
Yeah, so then he wanted me to get in the back, and I said, no, I will sit in this seat, and I was in the driver's seat the whole time. And so he was mad, but he held on to the seatbelt because I had already buckled myself in from the beginning. And so he held on to the red buckle right here. So he's like in this seat, but he's leaned forward holding the seatbelt together so I can't get out, because I pictured that I was going to just get out and go running, screaming into CVS. That's what I thought in my head. But he held me and I couldn't. I'm not sure where the gun was at that point, but he was holding it tight. And then he locked the doors. And then I said, I'll talk to you from right here. Well, he held the seatbelt for quite a while as he's screaming, and I'm just like shaking, and he's telling me to stop crying, that people are going to notice, because people were coming in and out the whole time. And one lady, she looked at me, and I was just like, I was going to say help, but then I was too scared. So he kept holding it. Well, finally, he just kept saying, I just want to talk to you, talk to me, I just want to talk to you. So then I was just like, what do you want to talk about? What do you want to, I want to talk about the divorce, blah, blah. So as he started talking and asking me to call the divorce off, he eased back and ended up sitting in that seat, the one like right here.
The one next to you?
And he let go. No, he stayed in the seat behind. So
Okay.
he was in this seat, and I was right here, so I could turn and see him. And he held the gun the whole time.
So he was on the passenger side? Okay.
The back passenger, and he held the gun between his legs the whole time. So that's why I didn't want to yell to the lady or anything, because it was right there. So the gun stayed there the whole time. He finally had let go of the seat, so I was still buckled in, but I was turning, and I was like, what do you want to talk about? So then he was like, you won't answer my text, I had to do this because you won't answer my text or my calls. Please just call the divorce off. I've lost everything, blah, blah, blah. So I ended up, we were probably there, for like, it felt, maybe 45 minutes to an hour. So if their cameras do work, they'll see the whole thing. I would cry some and cry not. It was raining, people would come and go. But I ended up, of course at the beginning especially, he was crazed. And then as we were talking, I was just kind of agreeing with whatever he was saying. And I was like, I know that you love me, and he's recently lost his son. His son has decided to move in with, he had joint custody and now he doesn't. And so he said, I've lost my son, I've lost you, I have nothing to live for. And I was like, well, Brian, you're the only one who can change. This is a side note, but his son left him because the son is 17 now, went through his phone, Brian's phone, and found out that he's been seeing prostitutes. They found the website, they know the girls have been in the house where my stepson was living. And that they've been doing drugs, because there's a text about drugs back and forth. And Stafford, my stepson, took pictures of all the texts from Brian's phone. He took pictures of everything he found in the house. So that's all, we have proof of all that. And so I just kept saying, you've got to stop living that way. You've got, you could get us all back if you'll just turn your life around, because he was a Christian at one point. And I was like, if you'll just turn back to the Lord. So the whole time I'm turned this way, I'm buckled in, but he's calm, he's calming down. And so, but the gun's still right there, and I'm just like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? And he's like, what am I doing? I could tell he was, and I was like, I don't know. I know you want to talk to me, but this is not the way to do it. I know. What have I done? It's like he kind of woke up, like, what have I done? What have I done? And I was like, listen, let me take you, let's go to your dad's office. The dad owns the business. I said, let's go to your dad's office and talk to him. I said, I don't want you arrested. I just want to get past this. This can be your rock bottom. Do you think this is your rock bottom? What do you think? So, I could tell. So he was, but it was, the gun was started there. And so I ended up convincing him, we're gonna talk to your dad. We're gonna get through this. And I kept saying we. And so then he called his dad on from his cell phone. Oh, by the way, the whole time he kept going through my phone because he had it, trying to see if I had a boyfriend, which, I don't. He was going through my phone the whole time. But anyway, he called his dad, put his dad on speaker, and I didn't yell out because the gun was right there. But he said, what are you doing? And he said, I'm going to a meeting at 11. And Brian said, well, call me when you get out. I need to talk to you. And he said, okay. So I didn't yell out. I didn't say anything. And he hung up. And I said, Brian, let me go to work. Let me go to work, show my face. People are going to wonder where I'm at. You call me at work, and then I'll come out and meet with you and your dad. I will not call the police, I promise. I promised a million times that I wouldn't call the police. And I said, and I'll meet you out there and we'll talk about this. This can be, I didn't say a new beginning, but I said, this can be the end of all this, blah, blah. So, but he told me his truck was parked at that park. And I didn't want to go there because I knew nobody would be there this early, And
That's
so,
the biggest green one.
And so I said, your truck is there? And he said, yes. And I said, well, let me just take you to your office. I'll just drop you off at your office. Well, no, I have to have my truck, blah, blah, blah. It was just getting ridiculous. So finally I was like, I'll drive you to your truck. you will get out, and then, but then I said, but it's up to you. I just kept saying, like, you're in charge, it's up to you. But if you will get out and let me go to work, then call me at work. You can, my work phone is the only phone I have blocked on. I said, you can call me at work, you can confirm I'm there, and I will meet you and your dad later this afternoon. Okay. And then I was like, Brian, I've got to go. So then he went from the seat to the back row and put his knees there and started pulling stuff out of the back and shoving it into a backpack. And I saw sheets, I want to say plastic, maybe it was plastic, I don't know, but it was maybe a sheet and a plastic something, I don't know, but it was fabric looking, and he shoved all that in the backpack. Then he had a bottle, which it was like, you know, those old-timey bleach bottles that are like white with the sprayer thing, a huge one.
It was like a spray thing?
Yeah. He had that, put that in the backpack, and then something else, and when I saw the bleach, I was like, oh my God, like I just kind of lost, like in my head, I kind of lost it. And so it was something else, like a tool or something, not a hammer, but something like that. I don't know. And then he shoved that in the backpack, and then I said, Brian, where's the gun? I don't want the gun anywhere near me. Where's the gun? It's right here. It was on the floor at that point, I guess because he knocked it or something, I don't know. But he picked it up, and he put it in the backpack, and he zipped the backpack up. And then he opened up a little zipper of the front backpack, took his keys out, and then he starts crying. What have I done? What have I done? It's too late for us. And I know it's not. I'll just let me go to work, and I'll meet you later. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I know. And then he opened the door himself, and I never turned the car off or anything when we read that part. And he got out, and he shut the door, and then I drove off. I went down Miccosukee just like I would go to work. He pulled up next to me at the light at Capitol Circle, rolled his window down, and he said, I'm so sorry, and was crying. And I said, I know, and he turned right to head north, and then I went on. So, and supposedly he was going to his office.
Where's his office at?
Cary Forest Parkway.
You know the address? Or what the business name is?
Yeah, it's Winchester Financial Group. And the whole time I was just praying. But all he wanted was to talk to me, for me to call the divorce off. And intermittently he would say he was going to kill himself. A lot he said that. Because I was like, are you planning on ending both of our lives? Like as he got calmer at CVS, I said, are you planning on, ending both of our lives today? Well, mine. I'm planning on mine. And then he would say, I want to kill myself. He must have said a million times, I want to kill myself. I've lost everything. I reached back a couple of times at CVS and would like touch his knee, like when I could tell that he was getting calmer, I was like, I know. Like, so the video will probably show that. I mean, if there is one. I'm trying to think of anything else. He said he was going to kill himself. I didn't know if I didn't plan on coming here because I wanted to follow through with what I said. I wanted to talk with Marcus. Brian also promised he would tell us that everything and he would go away to rehab. He's supposedly being treated for sex addiction. So he said he would go away to rehab. I was going to follow through with that because this is going to make him really mad. And so I called Deborah, my sister made me call her husband, who's a policeman. And he said, you have to turn him in. But I've already told you everything, but I still don't know if it's the right thing to do because it's going to make him so mad. And then, you guys, I can't have a 24-hour policeman with me, and he's going to, wherever, if he gets arrested, if he doesn't, he's going to be free at some point. I have a daughter. It's not his daughter, but I don't know.
We can try and get him some help.
That's exactly what happened.
Okay. What kind of truck does he drive?
My daughter actually had the exact whatever and gave it to the man downstairs. It's a GMC Sierra. It's a 2015. It's huge. It's extended cab. It's a huge truck, and it's like a dark gray brown color. It's a weird color, almost like your shirt. Yeah. And that backpack is in his truck. I know because he threw it in when he got in.
What did the backpack look like?
It was black.
Any other colors on it?
It had some white, maybe like whatever the emblem was or the name brand might have been in white, and it had an out zipper because that's where he got his keys.
What was he wearing?
He was wearing shorts and a shirt, a collared shirt, and The shorts were navy blue, Bermuda, like, longer shorts.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say the shirt was maybe a burgundy. I think it was darker color too, maybe like a burgundy. I didn't even think about that when I was in there. No hat. He didn't have a hat on. He didn't have sunglasses. He had tennis shoes on.
Does he have facial hair?
No.
Do you think he went back to his office?
Supposedly. And then he was going to call me to set up this meeting, and I'm not there, and that's going to make him mad, so that's going to send him to FSU looking for me. Because the last time we had a court date, which was about 3 weeks ago, he showed up.
Where do you work at FSU?
At FSU in the stadium. And I pulled up to my normal spot.
What do you do? Like,
a CPA, controller's office.
Is it just one office?
No, it's the 5th floor of Building A in the stadium. And he knows where I work. He's from Moms. But last time there was a court date, he showed up in the parking lot, and he wanted to talk to me, and I wouldn't, so I just kept driving around. He kept following me. My boss ended up coming out, so he left. Or I called my boss, and so he left. That was the only time he showed up at work, unannounced.
Okay. Alright, give me 1 second to step out and just see if I need anything else. Do you need anything right now, or?
No, I'm thinking no, if there's anything else. He was very, very suicidal, but towards the end, he was calm.
Okay.
Calmer.
Alright, well, give me just 1 minute, I'll be right back.
Denise? Hey there. My name is Melissa. I'm a victim advocate with the Sheriff's Office. Is it okay if we chat for a minute? Paul's up there talking about the surgeon and everything. I've been in there and listening in on the interview and everything that's been going on. And I'll just start by saying I'm really glad you're here and you're safe. Okay? And so I want to work with you and see what I can do to help you to continue to stay safe, given everything that's been going on. So, I know it's a lot to process. You want me to grab some tissues for you? Yeah, me too. Notifying your workplace of the situation, so I don't know if they're aware of anything that's been going on.
My boss is.
Okay. It's always good when you have someone in the workplace that you can trust and that you're comfortable letting know when there's things like this going on, but just because of the nature of everything that's happened, they are going to just make a phone call over there to kind of be on alert and put
Can I
that
give them my
flag up.
boss's name? Do they need that? Or
Would you like me to?
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Sure.
It's Carla Daniels.
Carla Daniels,
Yeah.
I'll let him know real quick. I think he's on the phone right now.
promised him, I got out of it because I promised him that I would not come to the police, and I promised him that I would go straight to work, and I blocked him from all my other stuff, but he can still call my work phone, so he was gonna call me to make sure I was there. So obviously I'm not there, which means if he called me and I wasn't there, then he's gonna start looking, he's looking for me right now, I know it. And which means he's going to FSU, he's gonna look through the parking lot for my car because he knows where, and he's gonna see that I'm not there. And so he's gonna start to get really bad again. When I left him, he wasn't crazy and mad, he was weeping and apologizing. But this is gonna set him off again. That's why I didn't even know if coming here was the right, I still don't know if coming here was the right thing to do.
It's the right thing, Denise. You've done the right thing. There's nothing easy about this, but you've done the right thing.
But y'all can't
Detective
live with us.
Salvo is he's on the phone with FSU right now, letting them know and making them aware, okay, and giving them a heads up. So we're going to take care of that and make sure that they stay as safe as they can and let them know what's going on. And you said that Carla already knows about the history and everything, so he's on the phone with them right now. He's on the phone with them, telling them, giving a description, everything like that. So focus, I want to focus on you. And you said you have a daughter. How old is she?
17.
17? Okay. Is it just you and your daughter? Okay, well let's focus on you and your daughter right now. What's her name?
Ansley.
Ansley, that's a beautiful name. I like that.
But I don't know how we're going to be safe.
Well, that's why I'm here. I'm going to help you with that.
Okay.
My first suggestion, one of the things that comes to mind right now is when we finish here, there's still some things that have to be done. File for an injunction. I'll accompany you. We'll go to the courthouse and you can file for an injunction. Okay?
I'm just going to make notes in my phone.
Absolutely. Here, if you want, I can, whichever you prefer. So most people use their phones nowadays, but sometimes it's helpful to write it down and if you want a piece of paper.
What does that mean, file an injunction?
An injunction is an order of protection. So it's like a restraining order, and it's going to prohibit him from having any contact with you, and you can include your daughter in that, okay? I'll go down there with you.
Okay.
There is a refuge house injunction assistance office. Have you ever heard of the refuge house?
No.
Okay, I'll get to that in a second. We'll take it one step at a time. The injunction assistance office is there. They're staffed with advocates just like me who can help you, and we can go there together and get this filed, okay? What's going to happen is it's free. There's no fee or anything. You fill out the paperwork. You'll put down your information, your daughter's information, places that he's going to be prohibited from, locations, your workplace. If she's in school, we put that on there, things like that, so we can talk about it when we get there. And then a judge will review it. And at 4 o'clock today, you'll know whether the injunction, the judge will grant either a temporary injunction or dismiss it.
Okay.
It would be pretty wild. I can't guarantee anything, but it would be pretty wild for it to be dismissed given the circumstances as you described them. So I'm going to say let's file for the injunction. So once that happens, it'll all happen today. We'll find out, but before 5 o'clock today, you can go and pick up a copy of your temporary injunction if it's granted, and keep that with you. And then we're also going to make copies and give it to whoever we need to at FSU, at your daughter's, wherever she frequents, whatever we need, okay? And so once that temporary injunction is in place, our deputies are going to work on getting him served. And now they have to be able to locate him in order to do that, but we're looking for him.
Okay.
So we'll get him served.
Serve him with that restraining order.
Yes, he will get served. Once it's in place, if it's granted, it'll go into place, get him served, and become active.
If it did get approved today, would he be served today?
If they can locate him, absolutely. It would be a priority, yes, as soon as possible. That's the goal there. Because it'll go into effect immediately once he's served with those papers. Any contact from there is going to be a violation of that injunction that you can report, and he can be charged with, depending on, of course, the follow-up there. But that injunction is going to work to protect you. It's going to, no contact by phone, email, certainly not in person, no third-party contact, nothing of that. And then, again, the locations that are listed within, he's not going to be allowed to go to FSU, to your workplace, things like that. And we'll sit down and go over it all together while we're there. But, we'll do the injunction. That's the first step, I think. It's a restraining order. It's going to keep him from, if he calls you, once he's served with that paperwork, that's a violation. And we're going to follow up on that, okay? So we'll do what we can. It's, a lot of times people think that, it's just a piece of paper. Is it really going to protect me? But it really can work to protect you, and I suggest it. I think we should go there. Like I said, we'll have to do certain things here. It does. It really will work to protect you. So we'll file for the injunction. Okay, so that's going to cease all contact from him. After that, we'll have to think about a safe place for you to stay.
Well, I think my sister's husband's a policeman at TPD, so
Okay.
she said I could stay with them.
Okay. Do you think does he know that
He doesn't even
location?
know, I don't think so, because
Okay.
it's in one of the I don't think he even knows where they live.
Okay, so he wouldn't even know
No, I don't think
where to find you or anything?
I
Okay.
can't imagine, because I don't even think his address is published. I don't think they don't
Yeah.
publish TPD office, so I don't think he would know.
Okay, okay, well,
He's
that's
never
great.
been there.
Okay, all right, and that's fine, and that, I think that's a good option,
Okay.
especially since he's law enforcement, and you said
Yeah.
your sister's and her...
It's my sister's husband who's
sister's
with
husband.
TPD.
Okay, well, that's...
And he has his car parked out, it's
Okay.
that TPD car.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I don't know if there's any way, just, I mean, any little thing we can do, it sounds like he obviously knows what vehicle you drive. When you're there, if you could maybe put your car in the garage and hide it, kind of thing.
Yeah, he would love
You know, just all these little things that we can do, whatever we can to protect you so that he wouldn't even if he did for some reason know this address, which
Right.
we don't think he
My
does,
car, yeah.
he won't even see your car,
Okay.
because that can be an identifier. So
Okay.
let's park that in a
Okay.
garage or something like that
Okay.
somewhere, and we're gonna stay there tonight, okay? Or at least for tonight,
Yeah.
we'll say that.
Yeah.
I brought up the refuge house earlier, and they're the injunction assistance office that we're going to use.
Mhm.
But in addition to providing injunction assistance, they're a safe shelter. You have somewhere to go, but I want you to be aware
Okay.
that in the event of an emergency,
Okay.
there is a shelter here by the
Okay.
name of Refuge House, okay?
Okay.
And if it came down to it, you could have it. It's strictly confidential.
Okay.
It's a safe place for you to go. It's a 24/7 operation, okay?
Okay.
And so I can give you some information for them and contact if you wanted to,
Okay.
because they also do, down the line, they have counseling and
Okay.
support groups and things like that.
Okay.
So it's a wide variety of services, but right now I'm thinking emergency
Yeah,
shelter
yeah.
if ever needed.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm glad that you have a safe place to go, especially with TPD
Yeah.
officer. If you felt the need, we could arrange for extra patrol at his residence even. And that wouldn't, I mean, he's got the cruiser parked in his driveway, but they could still keep an eye out. And I think that that would be, considering we're, local agencies that work together here, he'll,
Well, once my husband
No,
finds
it's,
out, once he gets her, right now he's probably okay just looking for me, but when he
Yeah.
finds out that I did come, that's when it's gonna be, that's when he's gonna be really mad.
well, and that's when we're gonna take steps to make sure that you're safe and that you're protected from him, because he's got all these emotions that he's trying to deal with and that he needs to work out, and he's gotta make that decision to help himself and get this help
Yeah.
that he's needing, before he can really start to make any progress. And you gotta worry about yourself and your daughter right now,
I
and
know,
protect
but, I can't
yourselves.
live with them forever,
Yeah. Well, we'll get through this.
Okay.
That's why I'm here. I'm here. This doesn't end today. I'm going to give you my number, and we'll be in touch, okay? And I'll be by your side every step of the way through this, okay? So we'll take it step by step, so it's not overwhelming.
and I should probably call my divorce attorney and tell her she's gonna be surprised.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that, because when we go to file for the injunction, we could refer you for legal services, but if you have an
No,
attorney,
yeah.
okay, well then, yeah, I would definitely consult with
Okay.
her, you said with her. Definitely, it's always good to make sure that she's in the loop and aware of anything, certainly with, given the circumstances, so give her a call
Okay.
and let her know what's going on, okay?
Okay.
So we'll leave that there for now,
Okay.
because we'll go do the injunction. I don't want to,
Okay.
too much at one time, but we'll do the injunction. Refuge House is available if you need it, but you've got a safe place to go, so.
And also,
Well,
I
and your
want to
daughter
tell
can
all
go
my
with you.
neighbors too, because they know that we're going through this long divorce,
Mhm.
and they need to know what happened this morning.
That's
Okay.
wise of you. And, they might be able to say, do they know what kind of vehicle he drives? Because they
Yeah,
can
I'll tell
call
them.
and
Okay,
say,
okay.
hey, I just saw his truck on the street. Any
Okay.
little thing that you can have as a one-up on him is going to be good. And neighbors like that, anyone you trust
And
or are
neighbors are
comfortable
great,
with, use right now. There's
Okay.
people out there who love you and care about you, and these are the times that we
Okay.
use them. So if you've got
Okay.
neighbors that you're comfortable and know what's going on, definitely give
Okay.
them a call
Okay,
to alert
that's
them, and
great.
additionally, to get any help you can from
Okay.
them,
Okay.
because I'm sure they'd be happy to help
Okay.
in any way they can.
Okay.
And so your daughter will go with you, and that'll be fine. She's okay with,
Yeah.
with staying with you. Okay.
Yeah.
Does she work anywhere? Does she have a workplace that he knows about?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Mm.
Just
Well, she works at Cookies and Tea for me, this little camp, but I don't know that he knows that.
okay. Well, if there's
Yeah.
not anything that's jumping out as something urgent,
No.
then okay.
I'm just
Okay.
trying to make sure too that I told that man everything,
Yeah.
if there's anything else. I guess I could call him if I think of anything else.
You absolutely can.
Okay.
You can certainly do that, Denise. Take your time and just gather your thoughts.
Well, what are
and-
they gonna, he'll probably get served with a restraining order, but then what happens with what I told him that he did? Like, does he get arrested, or, I mean?
He's gonna, Detective Salvo will come in and he'll be able to speak to that a little
Okay.
bit more than I can, but certainly this is an investigation, an
Okay,
active
okay,
investigation,
okay.
and he's gonna be working
Okay.
on that. So he'll give you the details of
Okay.
that, but yes, this is now an open investigation, I'll say that for sure. So there will be follow-up done.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, and he'll be able to provide a little more information as to those steps
Okay.
specifically, and we'll bring him in here, and he might be finishing up and wanting to come back in and talk to you anyway.
Okay.
So I just wanted
Okay.
to pop in
Thank
and
you.
just kind of get this ball rolling,
Okay.
and like I said, we'll just continue to take it step by step. But today, for the
What time is
immediate,
it?
that's what I think we need to prioritize, is the injunction.
This is Ryan's dad calling me. I'm not gonna get it because I know they're looking for me now.
Okay. Well, let me
Okay.
step out and see if Detective
Okay.
Salvo
All right.
has anything.
Where's the restroom?
Hey, I'm Detective Wilkerson. They mentioned anything to you about processing your vehicle where this all occurred?
What does that mean?
That, evidence where, you know, we can put it together to, in
And
addition.
my car's right out front.
Right. What I need from you, I just need your okay to do that,
yeah,
is
no,
all.
no,
Yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
that's fine.
What's your name, ma'am?
Denise Winchester, and he's texting me. I have him blocked, but he uses these text apps and figures out ways to text me. And so I know he's looking for me because I was supposed to be at work, and he was going to call me at work to verify I was at work. And I'm not at work.
Okay.
I just
What's
want
he
to
text-
mention that in case he's, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, for sure, you can go in my car. And if those cameras were working at CVS, I mean, that should have the whole thing. And I don't
What
know.
is he texting you, just where are you?
Yeah, he would call me, and he wants me to call him.
Okay. Can I see what he's texting?
Yeah. And it's from numbers that he, what is it? Please call me, and that's his cell, but I block him from everything, so he finds random numbers on text apps, and that was sent at 5 till 1.
Okay.
That means, what that means is, he's called my work, I didn't answer, so now he's looking for me. And when I left him, when he left me, he was calm, because I promised him I wouldn't do this, and that I wouldn't come here, and so, I mean, if I do this restraining order and he gets served, then he's gonna know.
Okay. What kind of vehicle is it out there that you have?
Me,
Uh-huh.
it's a 2002 Gold Suburban, or Yukon XL.
Okay.
Gold.
It's like a light gold, I mean, it's really old.
Let me figure, I'm just signing there, and all it is just consent that we're gonna,
And I don't know if he had spent the night, but, I mean, he just crawled
and
out.
initial right there, please, ma'am, just, that's perfect, thank you.
Where, couple of things real quick. How long have you had this vehicle?
Oh, forever.
Was he in it at any time y'all were together?
Yeah.
How long since it's been since he's been?
We have been separated almost 4 years, so he hasn't, it's been a long time since he's been in it.
Okay.
Very long, yeah, I mean, at least, so I would say almost 4 years. But he was in the very back, he crawled up and then sat in the seat right here, like, I'm in the driver's seat and he sat right behind the passenger seat.
Do you have one or two back seats?
I have two, and then one row.
So you got captain seats?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then the back, and then there's the back too.
And he sat in the seat directly behind the passenger side.
Right.
Which greenway, which is a greenway, was
It's like across from, Westminster, kind of like Westminster is kind of right here, and it's right here. Fleischman, past Fleischman, and you turn in right there.
past Dempsey Mayo,
Past Dempsey Mayo, and I think it's right there, and you turn left to go in. Yes, yeah,
right across
yeah,
from
right,
Gordon's and-
yeah. And that's where he got out and got into his truck with the backpack. And I didn't look back there, you know, I don't know if, whatever all he had, I don't know if he got it all. I mean, I have no idea.
Okay.
But do y'all want keys to it, or do you want to do it now? Or?
Yeah, we're gonna get our cops in to go through it, photograph it and process the prints and stuff. And, where did he exit at?
I came out of the park first and turned right down Miccosukee, and he came down and did the same thing. At the light at Capitol Circle in Miccosukee, he pulled up beside me because I was headed my normal routine to work. He rolled his window down, was crying, saying how sorry he was, and then he turned right to head north, which is in the direction of his office, Cary Forest.
Okay. How did he exit the vehicle?
Oh, how did he exit my car? He was in that seat, behind the passenger seat. He put his knees up on the bench seat and started pulling stuff out, and that's when I saw all this other stuff. He shoved it in the backpack, got back to his seat where he had been, opened that door, and and to say that he would have ever been in that seat opening that door, even when we had it when we were together, he never sat back there. So I don't think he ever would have touched that door from the inside that I know of.
It's a four door, he went out
Yeah.
the bottom seat, he
Yeah.
went up. Okay. If you'll be in there, she's got the keys. Where are you parked at in the front?
Oh, just right when you go out, it's just like right there. Do you need my keys?
Yes, ma'am, please.
And I don't know how.
Yeah, if you don't mind us doing it, we can get it done while you're up here instead of you having to wait on us
Okay.
when you get downstairs.
Where? I was in such a. Oh, you know what? I was in such a state when I got here. It might be in there. Let me make sure. Or my sister might have them. No, because I do remember now. They made me lock it, and my sister's sitting down there in the lobby. Oh my gosh. Maybe she has them. I can call her real quick and ask her. They're not in here.
Did you hear the part
I
about,
might have just handed them to her when I.
like, spoof numbers on his texting or weird numbers?
Yeah, he's texting me now, wanting to know where. No, I mean just asking me to call. Let me call my sister and see if she's got my keys downstairs. Sorry about this. Hey, I'm still upstairs, but they need my keys to look in my car. I don't see my keys. Do you have them? I mean, but remember when oh, you know what? I might have left them down there when we first met the guy downstairs.
It might be in the video.
I'll go down there.
It's a clicker. They're going to come down and see if they're down. But I mean, they're either in the car or I thought I locked the car. I don't know. No, don't walk out there. I don't know. They just want to look at it, so. I don't have them. Yeah. I don't know, but there's a good chance I left them in there. I was so messed up when I got here. Will you run out there and just see? Yeah, thank you. I'll stay on the phone with you.
Just actually look and not touch.
Yeah, he said just look and don't open the door or anything. David's not here. No, I thought he was coming. I'm just upstairs in some room, yeah. I thought when we walked in, somebody said lock the car. Oh my gosh. Yes. Can you call Ansley and see? And I could have left him on that guy's desk down there. Text Ansley too. Okay, bye. She's gonna ask the guy downstairs if I left him down there. She didn't touch the door of the car, but she didn't see him when she looked in. So that's not good. But it could be unlocked, you know, I don't know. I don't have one.
The number that's spoof number that's texting you, maybe asked who it was?
No, he put his cell phone number, because I block him from everything, so he uses these text apps, and so it just says, please call me, and it's his cell number.
Okay.
So that's how I know. And that was at 5 till 1.
That was at what?
5 till 1. I hope it's unlocked. Okay, thank you.
Is this truck a dually or, four-door or anything?
It's a 4-door. What does dually mean?
2 wheels in the back, or 4 wheels, 2 each side.
I don't know. It's brand new. I don't know. It's big. I don't know. I'm
Okay.
sorry, but it is 4 doors. My daughter just sent me a more description of his truck. If I need it, she said, I didn't know it was diesel. Is it diesel? What did she put? Just
Hello? Hi. Who? It probably does. Hang on. I'll be right back. Hang on one second. Do you know if his truck is OnStar?
I don't know, but I have more stuff. It's a 2015 tan GMC 4-door extended bed, 3500 diesel. I don't know about that one. It's a 2015, so they might. I don't know.
We don't know right now. All right.
Did y'all get in the car? Did y'all get in the car or no? Somebody was trying to get in the car. In my car.
Your car?
Did you
I
think
think they should, yeah, I think they're out there now.
Okay.
Alright, not to be redundant, but I'm gonna try and go through the story again and just try and get a little more detail on everything. So, car in general, do you usually lock it at night? Do you keep it unlocked or
Yeah, I
something?
usually lock it.
Did you lock it last night?
I thought I did. But I've changed the locks on the house like 3 times. He seems to find a way to get keys of mine. So he might have keys. Not that I know of, but he might.
Are you in possession of all the keys that you know?
Well, that I know of, but
Has he ever driven that truck before?
he's driven it years ago, yeah, like over 4 years ago. And you know what? I didn't get those keys changed, so he might have a key.
Alright, did you notice anything that was different with your truck when you got in today?
No, not at all.
Okay. Well, can you remember it? How did you get in?
You walk out my door and I have a circle drive. My car, my daughter's car and my car. So I just walked out, I go in front of it and just go around to the door.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you put the key in the door? Do you use a key fob? Or
I use a
something
clicker
else?
to click it open.
Okay. Do you remember using that clicker
Yeah,
today?
I did. And then I got in and started it. But I didn't go around the back or anything like that.
Okay. So you get in, you start driving. Nothing seemed out of place. Mirrors weren't moving.
I need my waffle. And I call my sister, because I always call my sister on the way to work. And so I turned on Miccosukee Road and called her. And then when a vision started appearing in my mirror, I just started screaming, help me, and then he came up and grabbed the phone, so. and I cannot believe I didn't wreck the car. I was screaming and doing this.
Mhm.
I don't know how I did, because it's so narrow, Mississippi Road with those ditches, but,
What was the first thing he said to you?
give me the fucking phone. You're gonna go up to the roundabout, you're gonna go up to the roundabout, you're gonna go around it and turn left, or say, it was some kind of direction, but it was definitely about the roundabout. You're gonna go up to the roundabout, you're gonna do whatever, and he's right in my ear, and I was like,
Was he screaming?
yeah, he was screaming, and I was just like, like that, and the roundabout was coming, and he's like, do it, he's like, you're gonna do what I say, yeah, he's screaming, you're gonna do what I say, and, or I'm gonna hurt you, and then I said, what do you mean hurt me, or hurt, I said it back, like hurt me or something, and he goes with this, and then that's when he just like shoved the gun. Oh, but you know what, when he was trying to get the phone, because I had it over here, he grabbed it, but he also grabbed my face, because I remember it hurt, it was like he grabbed the phone, but he also got part of maybe my cheek or something, because he grabbed it that way.
If you're driving, how did you reach across your
I did,
face,
I'm trying
on
to,
the
it must have
side?
been, it was from behind, because it was like this, it came like this at me, so it was from behind. But yeah, he was screaming, cussing, you're gonna do what I say, you're gonna turn here, and then when I didn't do what he said the first time, that's when he got the gun and held it right, he shoved it in me, in my ribs, because I could feel it in my ribs,
Okay.
and he just shoved it there, and he said, do it, turn here, and I kept going, I didn't do it, I mean, it's not funny, but I just can't believe it, and because I knew CVS was right there, and it was like, that was my goal, was CVS, and so then he just starts screaming the F word in my ear, what are you doing, do you think I'm not gonna, do, he didn't say, do you think I'm not gonna use this, but he was just being very threatening. And
Was
then,
it implied that you thought he would use a gun?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And then,
Can you describe the gun at all? I mean, I know you said dot collar, but did it look, was it squarish, was it round?
no, the end of it, like where I guess the bullet would come out, was real tiny, and it was a circle, and then, I mean, it's not how all guns are, I don't know, but then if you kind of went back from it, then it was flat and a circle, but I mean, I don't know, but I just remember seeing the hole, I guess, of where the bullet would come out, and it was real small, the hole was real small, and then
How long, do you know how long the gun was?
It was like because he put it all right, it looked to me like, just like a handgun.
Do you know the difference between a revolver and a semi-automatic pistol?
No.
Okay.
If you show me pictures, I might tell you more.
Do you know how long it was?
It felt like it fit, it felt like it was maybe this size, because I felt like it was all there in my ribs.
Do you know if he owns any guns?
No, I mean, he's a hunter, but that's not a hunting gun that I've ever seen.
So by hunting gun, you mean a rifle or
Oh,
something
you know
else?
what? Because I said, where did you get that gun? Because he collects guns, he hunts, and but I was like, because when we got calmer, I was like, where is that gun? Where did you get that gun? And he said, I got the gun to kill myself. That's exactly what he said. But I don't know when or how, or, I don't know, I've never seen it before.
Okay, this is a semi-automatic that he's talking about.
No, it wasn't that one for sure.
Again, that's just general, I mean, everything.
Yeah, but it definitely wasn't that. It didn't have that spin thing.
Okay.
It was closer to this, but it was fatter. Like this part was fatter.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's
sorry.
a whole bunch of different variations.
It was just fat, like, but it definitely wasn't that silver kind. There was no silver on it.
Yeah, and I'm just color-wise, I mean, there's,
It was more, none of that, but it was kind of more that thick. It was more kind of like that. The part that I guess you would hold was pretty thick, because I could feel it. I don't know.
So was
But he
it-
said I got it to kill myself, so maybe he bought it recently? I have no idea.
You said he shoved it to your side. Do you have any injuries that you know of?
I don't, I mean, my ribs are right here, and I felt it in my ribs, but I mean, it doesn't hurt when I do that, so I'm sure, I mean, that there wouldn't be any marks, I guess.
Okay, before you leave, I want you to check that.
Okay, I will. And the only other place he grabbed me, I told him, was when he reached behind me to get the phone out of my hand, he like pulled like right here, but it hurt at the time, but it doesn't hurt.
Okay, so you get to the CVS.
Yes, and when we pull in, you're kind of like, you go down this little hill to go around to the front, and when we got right here, he goes, turn, and he took the wheel, because he took the wheel and tried to get me to turn right there where just the trees are. And I don't know how I did it, but I was like, I guess because I was down here, and I just did it back. And again, the fact that there were no cars coming or going was a miracle, but I just did it back. And I knew, because I knew in my head I was going to that spot. And so when I did that, and then I pulled up, and I just parked and turned it off. And I knew, I go there all the time, and it says cameras, whatever, and he's like, there's cameras here, you are gonna back up, and you're gonna, and before he kept saying, he's screaming, I just wanna talk to you, I just wanna talk to you. And so I turned around and I said, I will talk to you from right here, this is the only place I'll talk to you from, and I screamed it at him.
So where were you parked?
It was right, like the front, like the door's right here.
We'll call it, this is CVS.
Mm-hmm.
If I recall correctly, this is Miccosukee.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like you said, the driveway comes in like this and goes around.
And he tried to get me to go in here to park,
Okay.
and I didn't, and I went all the way around.
So the front door is here, and I know there's parking right in front.
Yes. And then there's grass right here, and I was in this spot, the first spot, right there.
Okay, so you were
Right there.
right up against the store, the walkway to the store, I guess, on the corner of the building.
Right there, and the door's right there, so really there's only probably 2 spots, and then the front door, so people were coming and going, and he kept telling me to stop crying, that people were, but it was raining too, so it wasn't like people didn't have a clear view. At one point, a lady pulled in right here, and she looked at me, and I almost said, help me, but at that point, the gun was between his legs, like right there, so I didn't do anything.
Okay.
But yeah, I was parked right there the whole time, and it was a good 45 minutes at least. Where we just talked.
Was he screaming the whole time?
No, I mean, well, the first half, because he was so mad that I did that, he kind of was, I don't know if he was on his knees or what, but he held the seatbelt together where I couldn't, where the red thing is, he just held it. So I couldn't move because I was gonna get out and run in, but I couldn't do that. And yeah, he was just screaming. I was shaking, but I was trying to act like I wasn't scared. But, and then it took about, he just kept, do you need to go?
Yeah, I do. So, hey.
Do I keep going?
We can wait till he steps back in, that's fine. Some of the parts we'll get to, we'll want to go into a little bit more detail. We'll do that as we go.
What did you ask? I forgot what we were.
I was asking his demeanor.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, at first he was mad. He was like holding this the whole time. And he just kept saying to me, whatever, I just want to talk to you. You ignore my texts, you ignore my emails. I just want to talk to you. We have a court date coming up Wednesday. I just want to talk to you. And so I was just like, what? What do you want to talk about? I'm right here. I'll talk to you. What do you want to talk about? And so the more, he wouldn't say anything. So the more I kept saying that, I'm ready to talk to you. What do you want? I could tell he was getting calmer. He didn't have that crazy look. He was getting calmer, and he ended up sitting in his seat. I had the gun between his legs. It wasn't touching him, but it was between his legs the whole time. And he did let go. And I ended up telling him at one point, I said, Brian, you let go of my seatbelt a while ago, and I could get out. I could. But I'm not. I'm listening to you. I'm talking, like I kept kind of doing so. But anyway, so yeah, he did end up. He still sat on the edge of the chair and would look around, but he was, and I think he had been drinking or something, because he just seemed, I mean, obviously off, but I don't know. It just felt like maybe he'd been drinking all night or something. It was that kind of smell type. I don't know. I have no idea.
Has he ever acted like that before?
I've never seen him to that extent, no. I mean, he had completely lost it. And he kept saying, I've lost everything, I have nothing to live for. Many times, I'm going to kill myself, why shouldn't I have nothing to live for?
Did he tell you how he was going to do that, or where he was going to do it?
No, but he said he bought the gun to do it. I think he was going to do it right there. He wanted to do it there because he said something about that. I said, as he got calmer, I said, did you actually plan to kill both of us today? Like, we were just having a conversation. He goes, well, me. And I go, and I didn't ask any further, but he said, but no, he never. But pulling all that crap out of the back, I have no idea.
And what color were the sheets?
A light, I mean, maybe even like this color. Like a light tan, you know, not like the door, but more like this.
Okay.
But I think there was some plastic involved now that I think
can
about
you
it.
explain that plastic?
Okay, so he started pulling stuff. I didn't know anything was back there. I think it was like a sheet this color, and then I think I heard, you know how you can hear, like, I think there was some plastic.
No, you-
Maybe like you would use to paint, like, you know, you'd put on the floor to paint, something like that maybe. But
Like a plastic sheet, like a plastic bag?
yeah, the sheet was a sheet. The sheet was like this color and it was a sheet. But I remember now that when he grabbed it, it was two, and I think this one had a noise to it. It was something, it was different.
Did it look
But it
like
was
a
also
sheet?
around the same color. Yeah, it did. It looked like a sheet too. But I think it might have been some type of plastic. But I don't know. I mean, I didn't know anything was back there. And when I turned, I was like, oh my, you know. And I guess he had to do that twice.
Okay.
And then started shoving it in that backpack. But there was something different besides just the bed sheet.
Now, can you explain that, describe that bottle a little better?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's like kind of those old-fashioned bleach where the bottle was like probably that tall, fat, and then skinny, you know, and then it was clear. You could see there was clear inside of it, and then it had the spray with the big nozzle. So it's just like, I would call it a bleach bottle. But it didn't say a brand name. It was actual, like...
Could you tell if there was a label on it?
I didn't see one. It looked like, yeah, nothing you would buy. Like, it didn't have a brand on it or anything like that.
So
Like
it was just
Clorox, it didn't say anything.
Was it just kind of like a spray bottle?
It was a spray
Did you
bottle.
see
It was
liquid
big.
in
It was like kind of like an industrial spray. There was liquid in it, but again, I think it's bleach, but I don't.
Could you tell what color it was?
Everything was white and light, so I immediately, if you saw it, you would say it was a bleach bottle, you know, like, but I didn't smell it or taste, you know. I think it was a bleach bottle, pretty sure.
Okay.
And then something else that I can't remember. I wish I could remember. And again, it wasn't a hammer, but it was something like that. It was fatter. It was fatter than a hammer, and it was about the length of a hammer. But I have no idea. He did it so fast, I have no idea what that was. I don't know. And then at that point, I said, where's the gun? Because he's shoving all this stuff in the backpack. And he was like right here, and it was at his feet. And he picked it up, put it in there too, on the top, and then zipped it, unzipped the little pocket, got his keys.
And then did he say anything after that?
Yeah, just he was sorry. He was so sorry. And I kept saying, I won't tell anyone, I won't go to the police.
This is goal
He was
to,
crying.
this is goal to stay with you.
Is what?
This is goal to stay with you.
Oh, yeah, he wants me to call the divorce off. Yeah, yeah. And he said he did all that because I have blocked him from everything. And so he does try to communicate with me and I don't communicate back. And so this is why he said he had to do this to get me to talk to him.
Where's he living?
On Miller Landing Road, we own 2 homes and he's in that one. I'm trying to think if he said any more about killing himself. Because I said, you're for sure you really want to die today? And he said 90, I was over 95, I can't remember, 98%, it was something, you know. And I said, well, if you're not sure, you know, don't do it, don't, you know, I won't tell anyone, I won't, you know. He said he's been thinking about it for a long time, killing himself.
What would lead him to this?
To want to kill himself, because, I mean, our marriage is over. He has a son with another wife, and she's left him to live with his mom full time, so he lost him. So he says he has nothing left.
How's the business doing? Is it,
I guess. Oh, and also his mom found out within the past 2 to 3 weeks that she has cancer. That was something else. Yeah. And he did say that. I'm going to lose my mom in a year. I've lost you. I've lost, you know, Stafford, my son. Yeah, that's, I didn't forget about that, but that's a current thing. And apparently it's pretty bad. But his dad has also called me and wants me to call him, which I'm not going to, but that's just interesting because I just wonder, you know, if Brian Winchester actually told him everything or what. But I don't know. Because my plan was to go out there and talk with him today, but obviously I'm not going to do that.
Where do you usually park on campus?
Right, they're doing construction, major construction on the stadium. So, it's in the back part, but I mean, I don't even know how to tell you. Like the stadium's here, there's that like statue, you know, with the statue in the front.
Mhm.
And so our parking is like over here. So I'm usually like in the back because they got some construction crap all up here.
Okay, so that big block that goes
Yeah.
back towards Main Street.
Yes, exactly. But he knows that too, and he showed up there a couple weeks ago when the last court date was.
And Carla knows where you park?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And at the end he would say, I didn't mean to scare you, I just wanted to talk to you. He was very weepy and apologetic at the, when he got out of the car.
I know we talked about his clothing.
Mm-hmm. I wish I could remember more.
You said it was a collared shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Was
It definitely was like a polo
Polo?
shirt, yeah, definitely like that. But I mean, I'm pretty positive he's sitting up there at work right now. Oh, no, he's probably looking for me now, because I didn't answer the phone. I don't know.
All right, you said navy shorts, were they cargo shorts? or-
No, just, they would just be, no pockets.
And you know what color his tennis shoes were?
They were a dark color, but I just remember he did say, I've got to get rid of this gun. He did say that. I don't know.
When did he say that?
Towards the end. Maybe as he was even packing it up. I don't think I asked him a question on that, but he's mumbled something like that. But the minute he finds out that I came here, he's gonna lose it, like, again. And that's why I didn't wanna come.
Well, you did the right thing.
It doesn't feel like it. Because what am I gonna do when I leave here? That lady's gonna take me to get a restraining order, but he's not gonna pay attention to it. And then what's gonna happen, like, other than that? Anything?
What do you mean?
Like, will he get arrested, or, I mean, is he just gonna, I mean, I just don't know.
There's-
If he finds out today that I filed a restraining order, that's it, he's coming for me, because he'll be so mad.
Right,
that I
there's
like him.
there's a lot of different things. I mean, yes, we are looking at criminal charges. At the same time, we're also worried about his welfare.
Yes, yes,
So, you know, there's
I
always,
agree
the
with that.
Baker Act is always an option.
I agree with that.
But like I said, with everything that happened, yes, I mean, an arrest is very likely. But again, if he's arrested, they can get him that mental health
Yes, help,
treatment.
okay.
You know, if we have enough to arrest him, an arrest is going to be done over Baker Act due to the charges. But the jail is a receiving facility in those cases where they can't give him the mental health
Okay.
treatment. If it goes to court, I mean, they'll try and get him some help. There are options that the court can make him get some help. I know you said he was going to go into rehab, so the court
He
can
said
order,
that.
well, court can order rehab.
Yeah, oh, okay, okay. That'd
All
be
right,
good.
and again, that's all, I can't tell you that's
Okay.
what's gonna happen, but I've seen times where a court orders rehab as part of probation or whatever, and they'll work all that out. I think that's getting a little ahead of us right
Yeah.
now.
With his dad calling you, saying that's odd, would you be willing to do a control call to his dad to see if his dad says anything? Or to Brian himself?
Oh my gosh. Brian's gonna ask me immediately, where are you? Why are you not at work? So, and then his dad, I don't know. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna stay with the sheriff's department.
Right. Well, as far as anybody asking where you're at, all you gotta do is tell them you had to go somewhere by yourself and think.
Yeah. I really don't wanna make contact with him. I mean, unless y'all think that it's necessary.
Well, it's your option. If he told his dad what took place, and his dad is checking on you and expresses he explained it to him or whatever, then we've got that information that he's told somebody else. If he winds up sitting here having a conversation with you about it, that's just more evidence per se that corroborating your story about what took place.
I think Marcus is calling me just to set that conversation up because Brian really didn't want to tell his dad the details. He he wanted to tell him that he reached rock bottom, stuff like that, but he didn't want to tell him the details because his dad is so upset about the mom, and he kept bringing that up, that they are going through that, so he didn't want to tell his dad. So I don't think, calling his dad, I'm probably 100% sure he didn't tell him all the details. So it's not like Marcus would repeat them all back to me, because it was going to take me going there and me basically making him do it. And the reason he would do that is because he would think I would call the divorce off and we would get back together in the end. Him calling me, he's just going to be, where are you? What are you doing? He's going to want to set up that meeting with Marcus. I don't know. Oh my God, I don't know, because I don't want to make him more mad before he even finds out, you know what I'm saying? And the point would be to try to get him to say stuff, like...
And to find out where he is, if he would wind up telling you, want to meet you prior to going there, and we could try to have people in that area whenever he arrives, not somewhere necessarily that he's at that second, but even if he did pull off to the rest of the road and said, I'm at Capitol Circle, I'm pulling into the CVS, anything like that would give us an idea of where his location is, because FSU police already have the information, and we've got the information out. Our thing now is to locate him, check on his welfare, as you said, because we don't, it would just be beneficial to locate him.
Do you know, I mean, have y'all checked him at his work in the parking lot to see if he's there?
We've got people checking.
Because I think that's where he's at.
Well, just think about it.
I'll think about it.
You can take a few minutes, and
Okay.
but one of our biggest goals is to be able to locate him.
Right. Well, and find out, if you can find out from those people if his truck is at work, because that's what I'm thinking. I'm really thinking that is there. Because he thinks that I'm coming there later. What time even is it? Yeah, he would think, anyway, yeah. If you can find that out.
Okay, I'll go back just a few minutes. All right?
Yeah, I've told this story a million times.
I'll tell it a few more times.
Are they going through my car now? They were supposed to.
Deanna went to get the keys from Ansley. Ansley is at Justin's house. So, but Brian would never know what that is, right?
No. I'm assuming Brian's at work. He's called me, his dad has called me.
Did you answer the phone or text me?
No.
Did he say where he's calling? What did he say? What did Brian say?
He has to use apps, text apps on his phone because I blocked so many numbers from him. So this must be another text app number, and he sent this, and that's his cell. And that was around 1.
Do you think that's him?
That is him because he's telling me it's him. Even though I wouldn't recognize his number. But I think you'll find his truck at work.
I don't know. He's probably.
But Marcus said please call me at 1:30, but I don't want to call him. I don't know why he's calling me. I don't know if.
Marcus, you think he talked to Marcus?
Well, Brian said I convinced him that someone had to know what he had done and for us to tell Marcus because he wouldn't turn him in, but at least someone else would know. And but he said I don't want to tell him about the gun. I don't want to tell. I'll just tell him that I hit rock bottom. Like he didn't want to tell him the details that I wanted him to tell him. So the fact that he's calling me, Brian might have said something, but I know he didn't tell him the details. He wouldn't unless I was there and I made him. But Kathy mentioned, should I tell Marcus? Let me ask Kathy real quick.
No, don't
Don't
ask.
ask.
Don't tell him that.
Okay.
We don't. They have not found Brian yet.
Oh, they haven't? What time is it?
I sent John Barron's over to your mom's. I think they told Johnny just a little bit.
I know.
If you didn't show up at work like you're supposed to and he knows you're not there,
Right.
where's he going to
Yeah.
go?
Yeah.
The only place I knew that he knows in common would be Johnny's.
Yeah, that's true.
So John Barron's is there, so no one can get to Johnny. We try to get her to leave and go over to your grandparents to stay there, but she won't leave the house.
I think he's probably driving around looking for me because he thinks I'm supposed to be at work. Because I told him I was going straight to work. He could call me on the work phone to confirm it, and then I would meet him and Marcus later today at his office. That's how we left it.
The Kerry Forest office. Now Marcus doesn't work anymore, does he?
Mm-hmm. He does. And he said that we would talk to his dad together. That's how we left it.
What did he pull out of the back of the car this morning? I know you told them, but then you told me a little bit.
When he was leaving, yeah, I didn't know anything was back there, and he got his knees into that seat and started pulling stuff out, and
In the very back?
that's where he was hiding, and so he pulled the backpack. It was loose stuff, like he pulled it. You know what? He might have slept there last night, and that's why she was there. I don't know how long he had been there, but he pulled out a sheet that was like this color. And then he pulled out something else because it took him, it was heavy. So that's why I think it was some type of plastic. I'm pretty sure it was. Pulled all that out, shoved all that in this backpack, and then pulled something else out. And again, I don't know what it was. It was bigger than a hammer, wider than a hammer, but I don't know what it was. Put that in there, and then there was this bottle, like this big of like industrial bleach, like a bottle. And he pulled that out and put that in there. And then when he turned around and sat down, I said, "Where's the gun?" Because he was about to get out. And he goes, "Right here," and it was on the floor. And he picked it up, put that on top, and then zipped it up. And then unzipped a little tiny pocket that I could see that was right here and got his keys out.
He told you he was there to kill himself this morning.
He told me that he had nothing else to live for and that he wanted to kill himself. He told me that many times. He told me he bought the gun to kill himself because I said, "Where did you get this gun?" Because I've never seen a gun that you would kill people with. You know, he's just got the hunting guns. And he said, "I bought it to kill myself."
What do you think he brought all the other stuff for?
I have no idea. Because at one point I asked him, I said, "Did you really plan on today being the day that we would both die?" And he said, "Well, me." But then when I saw that other stuff, that doesn't make sense. So I don't, that's what he said.
Denise, he was going to kill you, and for whatever reason he didn't go through with it. He brought that stuff because it would cover his tracks. And I'm sorry, you know that I love you, and I would never let anything happen to you. But I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat stuff. You did the right thing by calling me. But Denise, he was going to kill you.
Well, then when
was
he
going to bury
finds
you.
out after 4 o'clock that there's a restraining order, he's gonna know that I told, and he's gonna come for me.
Well, hopefully he'll kill himself. We won't have to worry about it, okay? He's had control over you for years and years and years. He has ruined your life. You and Deborah are the same age, but y'all sure don't look it. It has eaten at you and eaten at you. And I couldn't say anything. I talked to Warren one time and said, we need to talk to Denise, and he wouldn't do it. He said, I'm just glad she didn't go crazy. Okay, but you've been living in a crazy life forever, and you finally had enough to get out. I know, Denise, he did it, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't think you had anything ever whatsoever to do, but he held that over your head forever. And he was going to do it again. He wasn't going to kill himself, Denise. He was going to kill you so that you couldn't talk about him later. That is the truth. I've been doing this too long. I've talked to everybody I know over the years for 15 years about how and what we could do. 15 years ago, he walked in and told you he'd done something. Didn't he?
No,
Denise,
no.
you have got, this is not going away. Okay, he's going to kill you. He's either going to kill himself because he's got no other avenue, but he's going to try and control you. He's going to try and stop people from talking about what he did. You say no.
I don't.
Would he go get Ansley and hold Ansley and call you and say, do what I say? Would he kill Ansley?
Would he? I don't think he
Yes,
would
he
kill
would.
me.
The only person that's important to him is him.
That's
He didn't bring that crap to kill himself and bury himself. He brought it to kill you and bury you and get rid of the problem, because he knows he's got a problem.
He didn't say any of that.
This is not how divorces go. What did he ever say to you back then
Back then about Mike,
about Mike?
I never had any reason to believe that he would do that. I never would have believed.
Knowing what you remember the time you went to Atlanta when you had a boyfriend up there and he showed up with a gun?
Yeah.
What makes you think he wouldn't do something like that?
I guess because, not now, but and obviously this doesn't, he loves the Lord. He was a Christian. That's why I married him. He was doing prison ministry. I was doing prison ministry. I had no reason, and I've never seen him like this. I've never seen him like
You
this.
saw him this way 14 years ago in Atlanta.
Not like this.
I
This was
understand.
different. This was very
All
different.
right.
This took it to
No.
a whole nother.
Knowing what you know over 15 years, do you think he would do something like, knowing what you know now? Because it took me a long time to wrap my eyes. I said, no, 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 no. Knowing what you know now.
Even after today, even after everything that he said to me today, I do not believe, no, I don't. And I don't believe he was there to hurt me. He said over and over, I want to kill myself. I don't want to leave. I'm so
So he
miserable.
brought
I have nothing to
plastic.
live for.
He's brought plastic, an implement to bury you, and you think he wouldn't hurt you?
I guess I can't believe it.
That was
And he
hard.
didn't say, he had the gun on me, but he didn't say, well, he said he was going to hurt me.
Right.
He did say that. He screamed that. Yeah.
We can't put it back in the bottle.
No, no.
Okay, and there's no amount of counseling that's going to help him. He's not going to, he was never normal. He's never going to return to whatever he was. The only thing that's going to work now is you testify, and he goes to prison, and he goes to prison for a lengthy period of time, and maybe it's 5, 10, 15 years, but at some point, he may get back out. Okay, if he kills himself, well, problem solved. But you can't, I believe he had something to do with Mike. I absolutely believe it.
I do not, but this, what you're talking about has nothing to do with tonight. Tonight is what I'm worried about. When I go
It's the
file this
culmination of
thing,
everything.
he's gonna know.
Well, he's going to know no matter what, because he's going to jail today if we can find him. Until we find him, do you think you're in danger?
Yeah,
Do you think Ansley's in danger?
yeah.
Do you
And
think
Stafford.
Johnny's in danger?
I don't know, but Stafford and me and Ansley, yeah.
How come?
Because he's driving around with a gun.
He only wants to hurt himself. He wouldn't hurt any of them, would he?
He wants me to stop the divorce. That's what he kept saying. I have nothing to live for if you follow through with this. I have nothing to live for.
it's not like you're gonna get back together.
Well, I mean, that's what he wants, and
You
that's
did-
pretty much what I had to, I didn't say that, but I pretty much had to say, we'll meet with Marcus, this could, I didn't say at the beginning, I said, this could be your rock bottom, this could be, you know, all that, I said all that. I didn't say I would call it the divorce. Do you think he would really kill himself?
Yeah.
He's threatened it so many times to me.
I believe you know enough about, he said something, he alluded to something. Why not, with his money and his youth, move on to something else? What is so important about keeping Denise?
Which he has,
I
because
think
he's
he's
always
afraid you're going to
prostituting.
say something that he has said in the past. And this, by being married to you, is the only way he can keep control of that. Even if it's a little something. He has said something to you, Denise, at some point
Well,
about,
then I would really have to think about it, because I don't, he's sleeping with all the prostitutes, he is doing all that. I mean, I've always thought that he wanted to stay with me because of money. Because he can do his hunting leases and live his life large because of money. And honestly, this divorce, and he said it today, it's gonna bury him. And it is, because he's gonna lose the office building that we own together, and he's gonna lose his home. And so to me, that's what always made sense, that's what makes sense to me, is money.
people
And
that
then he
divorces
has the
and
prostitutes, and then he still has me. That's what he wants. And that's why he was saying that today. That he's not at the office right now? They're sure.
No, if he were, they'd already have him by now.
But what are they gonna do? They're gonna arrest him?
Yeah,
And say these are charges?
yeah.
Like, what would that be?
I would think kidnapping would be a pretty serious charge.
So that'll be a charge?
Yeah, and at some point you'll have to go before maybe a judge and jury and play this out for them too. But if
Just
you,
like
if you
I've been
don't do
doing in
that,
here? Just like I've been doing?
yeah, these guys are just getting the information to get a report generated, maybe a warrant for the arrest, okay? And that's the right thing to do. But you may have to relive this again in front of strangers. But you already,
I really want to get through tonight, and I want to get through knowing that he knows, and then I'm still alive.
well, we're gonna keep you alive, I'm not letting anything
But I
happen to you.
can't live with you forever.
That's true. You have to live with me until he's either in jail or dead.
He is threatened. I stayed with him so long before we separated because he would threaten suicide all the time, and he knew that would get me, and it got me every time. So he's been threatening suicide for over 5 years. I think people that threaten suicide don't do it. So I don't think he's gonna do it. If he would have done it today, if he was
He
gonna do
wasn't there to
it.
kill himself today. Denise.
I can't
Ansley
accept
would have
that.
Ansley would have had no mother and no father.
I just can't.
What do you think he was there to do?
I mean, what he said, which was, he wants to talk me out of the divorce. That's what he kept saying, screaming.
Where did he tell you to turn, do you remember, when you left?
Well, he kept saying, you're gonna go to the roundabout, and you're gonna, and then I think he said, I think he kept saying turn left, and I never would.
At the roundabout?
I think he wanted me to go, like, I don't know, he said something like, you're gonna go to the roundabout, because you can only turn right there. But I think he wanted me to go, I felt like he wanted me to go, because when we first went out, he wanted me to turn left, like by Westminster or
When you
something.
came out of your house, he wanted you to turn left?
Well, I was already on Miccosukee Road when he appeared. And so I was probably halfway to the roundabout.
Right.
And then he kept wanting me to turn left, and I wouldn't. And then he said, and that's when he put the gun to me, he said, you're gonna go to the roundabout, and you're gonna, I think he wanted me to take it, and then, I don't know, maybe he said right at that point, but he wanted me to get off of that road and go this way. Which would be
Does he
towards
have-
the interstate, I guess.
Where's this at, do you know?
Phipps. And that's up
Highway 12?
north of town. It's off Miller Landing Road. And then it spreads forever, but he hunts right there off Miller Landing Road. But, yeah, he kept wanting me to turn left. But he'd been in my house because he said things that he wouldn't have known without being in my house. And I have changed
Did you ever
those
change your
locks
locks?
3 times. I've changed them 3 times. And it doesn't matter.
Still easy to get in.
And I just feel like this restraining order is not going to stop him. An alarm system at my house isn't going to stop him.
What's gonna stop you?
Well, I guess if he kills himself, then I don't have to worry.
That's a good one.
But I I just don't think he's going to.
All this stuff, the restraining order, putting him in jail, or doing nothing, which is gonna stop him?
Well, I'm here trying to do something, but I still don't feel right about it.
Why don't you feel right about it?
Because I know what's going to happen when he finds out. He's going to be mad. And when he left me, he was calm. He was crying. He was sorry. I can deal with that. I can't deal with the other. And it's worse. I've never seen him like this. Never. He was off. I mean, he was crazy. I've never seen him like this.
I'm sure it's different now than it was, but go back to Atlanta.
Yeah, yeah. But when I think about that now compared to this,
That was what, that was the first 2 years of Mike disappearing?
probably 2 to 3, I would say. I'm not positive, but I would say probably 3. But yeah, but this doesn't hold a candle.
But driving all the way to Atlanta because you're hanging out with some guy, and then he confronted that guy with the gun, right?
Well, he always said he had one. No one ever saw it, but I didn't like show it to me. I mean, I never saw it, and the guy, we never saw it, but that's what, yeah, he threatened that over and over.
I mean, that was...
But this was different, and I've never seen a gun like that. I've never, oh, and he did say, I've got to get rid of this gun. He did say that, and I don't know, because I asked him, where did you get that gun? And he said, I bought it to kill myself. And then at the end, when he was getting ready to get out of the car, after he had everything together, he said, I've got to get rid of this gun. And I didn't comment, but he did say that. I don't know what that means. And he didn't do it. I mean, he held it, and he had it between his legs the whole time, on the seat. I wonder where it's at.
If Deborah were sitting here and you were sitting here, and she told you that I had done all this, what would you tell Deborah?
To run.
Would you tell her to, don't worry about it?
No.
I'm not going to go forward. I feel bad. You shouldn't do anything. He'll get better.
No.
No. Because it's not how rational people act, and those people do not get better. And if she sat there and told you that he brought Miss Queen and...
This is crazy. Okay.
Queen,
That is crazy.
but you need to understand.
It's crazy.
You got to be able to see it from out here.
But I
He
mean,
was not there to kill himself. The threat to kill myself was to get you to do what he wanted you to do. He's so crazy that he believed you. He believed you wouldn't tell anybody that he kidnapped you.
I promised him.
I know.
Many
That's how
times.
crazy he is. Are you kidding me? You say anything, you did it right. You handled it perfectly. You should never do what he says. Fight for your life.
I
You go
was
to a
praying
public
the whole
place,
time.
and you got him to calm down, and you got
But he did, yeah, he left
him
believing.
to believe. Think how crazy it is. If I were in that frame of mind and never told me I'm not going to tell him that, you think I would go for that?
Yeah.
Well, if I'm in that frame of mind, I might, because I am totally off my rocker.
Well, he's, yeah.
Because he still has this little tiny belief. Because that's all he wants is you to stay with him. But he will never be normal. He's not normal. And I'm sure if you think about the last 15 years, there had to be tons of abnormal things. I mean, I know you didn't tell me about any of them in terms of, I heard a little bit like the gun thing in Atlanta. I heard about that. But other than that, I've heard nothing until the last year.
Yeah.
That you sent Deborah and them an email about how terrified you are of him. You knew a year ago.
Well, yeah, you mean the year ago, since we've been separated?
Yeah, you said, I don't know how long ago we separated.
Well, he grabbed me the last day, and that's why I kicked him out. But that was almost 4 years ago.
He grabbed you 4 years ago? During an argument?
That was the last day that he lived with me, yeah.
He ever hit you?
Well, I mean, that was the worst that it got physically. Like, he just, threw me against the wall.
Did you tell him you were tired of the crap, or what?
No, he was wanting to, all the issues we've had all during our marriage have to do with sexual issues, and now he's using prostitutes, and that's what he wanted. I married him because he was living for the Lord and was a Christian, and it was everything that I ever wanted. But slowly, within about the first year, he stopped doing Bible studies, he stopped doing everything, and then it got away, and it was all sexual related.
He's a con artist. He's a con man.
But that's what the fight was about. And then I was going through counseling at the church, so I ran out of the house and drove to their office, the elder and his wife, and so they know all of that situation. He broke all my stuff. It was awful. But that was the last day he lived with me. And November 1st will be 4 years, so it's probably about 3.5 years ago.
He hasn't lived you in 3.5 years. And see, I didn't even know until, I guess it's been a year, whenever you sent that email to Deborah, Deanna, and I don't know who else got it, but
Yeah, it's almost been 4 years. It was November 1st, so it's almost been 4 years.
that wasn't, the email was last year, wasn't it?
I
Like
think
within the
so.
last year. What made you send that email?
I don't know. I guess I need to see it because I don't remember the details surrounding it. I don't know if he had what he had done. But again, there was.
If anything happened to me, Brian did it.
I don't know how to look at it because I don't know specifically what you're talking about. This, because we haven't lived together in almost 4 years, and he would try to get me to talk with him and stuff, and we did counseling, we did everything, but he was never genuine with it, and it never worked. And then I got an attorney last August, which we're still fighting because he won't participate, and we have another court thing Wednesday.
But even, you told me.
That's what he was trying to talk me out of, the Wednesday thing, because it's a new deadline that he's not going to make.
What makes it, why would he be so financially destitute? I mean, Marcus would take care of him. You're not gonna let him.
But Marcus is taking care of Jennifer and all 4 of her kids because her husband left. So he's doing the mortgage. He's doing everything for her. He's at an age where he should be retired. But his wife found out this month that she has severe cancer, so he's dealing with that. I mean, he basically would just throw money at Brian all these years, but now and lately, I get the impression that has been cut off, and especially since when Stafford found all this information out about what he was doing with the prostitutes and drugs, we believe that Marcus cut him off at that point. So I think there's a lot of, and he kept saying that in the car today, financial pressures. He kept talking about, I'm losing, he said I owe people money all over town. He did say that, I just remember that. And that might have to do with the drugs, that might have to do with the prostitutes and the drugs. But he said that today, so he's definitely money hurting.
But once y'all are divorced, like the office building, y'all had it appraised, it'll either be bought by one or the other, but either way, half the proceeds to each, that doesn't sound like I'm financially destitute. You ought to be getting at least something out of that.
Yeah, and then the house.
What did it appraise at?
Well, I don't know. They're doing the data appraisal now. The home appraisal that he lives in is both of our home, but he refuses to let them do the appraisal, so that hasn't been done yet. But the business makes money, but when I had the appraisal walk through it, I did notice that there were a lot of empty spaces, and Brian's really good at the office, and he's good at getting people to rent and stuff, and it didn't seem like it was how it used to be in previous years, but I haven't been a part of that business in years, so I don't know. But
I mean, he wasn't going to be financially destitute like he's trying to tell you. He was going to come into some money at the end of the divorce. There would be something left.
yeah.
It wasn't.
But it sounded to me like he had it owed out. Like he did say, he was like, I owe people money all over town, thousands. He kept saying thousands. So I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about. But I'm thinking it might have to do with drugs. Because some of those Stafford has pictures of all the text on his phone with these girls and the drugs and all that kind of stuff. And this girl is ordering stuff because me and Kathy had to Google what even she was talking about. And so that Brian was either getting.
When did you talk to Kathy about it?
Oh, we talk all the. She knows every single thing
But
about
I
it.
mean, when did Stafford find out about all this stuff?
It's been probably 6 weeks to 2 months ago. And he left, told Marcus, we told Marcus and showed him everything. And then Marcus went to Brian's house, got all Stafford's stuff out, and Stafford hadn't been back, and he hadn't talked to him since. So that's a huge pressure on Brian too, because, I mean, he lost a son. But he didn't stop whoring around, which is interesting. And then his mom getting cancer is brand new. I won't talk to him, Stafford won't talk to him. I mean, this is all the stuff he listed out as the reasons why he had to go to such extremes to get me to talk to him.
You think he was just going to kill you so that the divorce would go through?
I still
He
don't,
wasn't
I don't
crazy.
have my mind wrapped around the fact that he was going to kill me, so I can't really answer. I don't know. These are just all the things that he was saying. I don't know. But I know, by the grace of God, I got out of there. But I'm scared to death for tonight.
You can stay with us. He doesn't know
And
where I live.
there's a lady that said we were going to file a restraining order today, but I don't even know what time it is. I don't know if we were. It's almost 3. I don't know how long that takes. I don't know that
Doesn't
process.
take long. It'll be easy to do.
Do you think that I'll get it?
Here you go, kid. It's a piece, but it's a piece of paper.
I know, and then then they go show him,
They're gonna arrest him for kidnapping this morning.
and that's gonna be the
Okay.
charge?
And
Well,
I don't know that. I don't know all the details. All I get is that little bit you gave me, and from what you told me, that's what it sounds like. It could be something a little bit different.
I don't know.
But it's domestic, so it's gonna be very serious from a judge. He's not gonna get out anytime in the next day or two to see a judge, but at some point, we got to bank on he is gonna get out.
Yeah, I know, and that's why I didn't wanna come.
What other choice do you have?
I guess I was hoping Marcus was gonna solve it all.
Marcus got so much on his plate, just like I say, if he's already cut him off, then maybe he finally realizes that it's time to quit helping him.
But I need to tell my attorney what happened today. She doesn't know. But yeah, so so finish that sentence. You said, so he will probably get arrested and then he'll get out in a couple days. Then what?
They'll end up, the state attorney will file the charges against him for whatever they end up, the charge is, and then it'll drag out for some time. It won't be quick.
Right, but during all that time, what about me? What about Ansley?
That's right. And that's why you have to go through with it. They may do electronic monitoring on him. I mean, they may put a big enough bond, but he's never been in trouble.
No.
They put a bond. Bond just means a promise to show up at court. It doesn't mean that I can't go out and kill you.
Right,
Okay? Think about that doctor up in
right.
Colorado. He's living with his dad.
Mhm.
So in the meantime, you have to be worried about Ansley, where she goes to school starting back. You got to tell the school what's going on so that they can watch out for her and make sure that she's always got somebody around and she's never going home alone. You may have to find something to rent, or you have to stay with me in Denver. There's plenty of room. We can work around it. He doesn't know where I live. Could he find out? Absolutely.
But I don't think
All
he
the places that he's going to come to, nowhere's perfectly safe, but it's probably the safest that I can think of. At least there's always someone there. And Denise, now I'm bringing my family into it. Parker and Deborah, we love you. I don't want anything to happen to you or Ansley. All right, so I'm willing to accept that risk. And it's more real to me than anybody, because we see it all the time. It's happened here in Tallahassee. This is not how a human being who loves people, who cares about people, react or behave. This is about power. This is about money. And Denise, you've got to get in your head that, see, because he didn't hurt you, well, you think, well, there's some good in him. There's not. For whatever reason, he backed off today. Okay? And Ansley would have had no mother and no father.
And I think he did, because I told him pretty much what he wanted to hear.
That's the only, I don't know how you talked your way out of it.
Well, it's not gonna work again.
The fact that you listened, or didn't listen to him and drove to the CVS probably saved your life. If you'd gone where you wanted to go, and there was no one around, I don't think you could have talked him out of it.
It was just in
And
my
they shot you
head.
and buried you somewhere, and you would have never been found.
It was just in my head to get to CVS. It was like, I had to get to CVS. It was so weird.
To me, him bringing those things, hiding in the car,
Mm-hmm.
directing you,
Mm-hmm.
he had it thought out.
Mm-hmm. Obviously.
Okay, and I know I keep telling you about it, but I'm telling you, he killed Mike. And he did it for you because he wanted you. And I know that's hard, and I know it hurts. But by God, I'm telling you, that's what happened. How old was Ansley then?
Baby.
Huh?
A baby.
Not even a year. He didn't care. I saw, Deborah and I saw Mike the night before with Ansley at the mall. And that's the last time I ever saw him. He didn't care about you. He didn't care about Ansley. He only cares about himself. He made Mike disappear, and he was going to make you disappear today. And you have got to get that in your head. You don't ever have to tell me or anybody else about it, but at some point it needs to come out, because he did it. I am telling you. I don't think you had anything to do with it, but he held that over you, and I'm sure at some point he told you something. And I'm not trying to get you in trouble, because I don't think you did anything, Denise. But I'm telling you, he killed Mike, and he was going to kill you and make you go away. You need to hear that, and you need to hear it a lot. You were going to die today. You got lucky. Okay? Next time, it might be he catches Ansley and you, and he kills Ansley in front of you just to hurt you. And if you think he's not capable of that, think about the man who brought something to bury you with, who brought plastic, who brought bleach to cover his tracks. Why doesn't it make sense? He's nuts. He killed your husband.
But okay, if he is nuts, that crazy, then again, I can't have an officer live with me 24/7. I can't. I'm not safe.
He goes to prison for murder, you'll never see him again. He killed Mike. And he buried Mike where no one could ever find him. That is the truth. I'm wondering if you're thinking to the same place today that he buried Mike, because he's done it before. You have to wrap your mind around it, Denise. That is what he has done, and he's willing to do it again. He is going to kill you. Think about it. He slept in your car and waited for you. But I don't think he slept. I think he knew what time he was watching you.
That's just not to be.
He watched Mike. I watched Mike stay in that office every night till 11 o'clock at night. All the time. Mike was so predictable. Every now and then I'd talk to him, but then I wouldn't get to talk to him. So predictable.
Yeah.
He waited for him that day. He was missing for 5 or 6 hours, Brian? The day of?
I don't know.
Well, a lot of people know.
Missing?
Yeah. And that's when he killed Mike. You're sitting here today. You don't think he could kill Mike?
The person that I saw today is a person I don't know.
That person you saw today could kill Mike, couldn't he?
That person could.
And he did. And that's who he was then. He has conned you to no end. It's not your fault.
I mean, that person today could have done anything, anything. That's not the person that I married. It's not the person that I knew. It's not.
It's not the person you knew. Okay? Everyone has their private side and different, okay? He has 2 different personalities.
But yeah, this person today could have done anything. And still could, I guess. Because he's going to be so mad about this.
The person you saw today could kill Mike.
He could kill anyone. And he could have killed me.
Because the person you saw today is the same person you married. It's just there's 2 different people in him. When he's getting what he wants, he's all nice.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he... What we're talking about, Denise, I would never tell Deborah. Or your mom or anybody. This is just me and you. I swear I would never tell them. But were you sleeping with Brian the day that Mike disappeared?
No.
It didn't happen until later?
No. Yeah.
Well, but he wanted you, there's no doubt about it.
I can't even imagine. And I've never seen a person like this today.
You saw him in Atlanta. He's
Aversion.
talking against the wall.
Aversion.
Right.
Yeah. Aversion.
That was pretty
You're
early
right.
on.
You're right. And this is why I didn't want to do it this way. This is why I didn't want to set him off and make him mad. And coming here, he knows he can't trust me because I promised him over and over I wouldn't do this. And that's why I
To save
didn't
your
want to do
life.
this.
'Cause
Yes.
You knew he would kill you.
Yeah. Well, to get out of the situation, yeah, I mean, there was a gun there. I guess I just believed him that he was going to kill himself. I don't know. But the point is, when he finds out, he's going to be really mad. That's the point. And that's why I didn't want to do it this way.
What do you think he's going to say when they find you?
I don't know. If he has the stuff still, then there's really nothing he can say.
Well,
He put the backpack in the truck, then he got in the truck. But I don't know, he mentioned getting rid of the gun so he could get rid of everything. I don't know, but if the CBS cameras were working, I was right there. I mean, they can see what all happened. A couple times I reached over and would like touch his knee. Like, I mean, I was really like, I promise you I will not. Like, I really wanted, which he did. I mean, I wanted him to believe me. After he,
Well, and he wants to believe you. He wants it to be like it was. And I'm sure at some point, was that part of the conversation, was let's just make it like it was?
he just wanted me to call it a war zone. And the deadline's coming. And the last time the deadline came, he showed up at my office and just kind of like followed me around the parking lot, yelling out the window that he wanted to talk, and I wouldn't. So.
Like I said, I get third person from Deborah 2 days after it's happened, and
Well, she didn't want to tell you about the prostitute stuff because she said you would have to report it or something. I don't know. But she didn't. I guess she didn't tell you about that. And the drugs, whatever that is.
well, that's not my problem. These people have to deal with that. This is my sister-in-law. I don't have to worry about this stuff.
But do you, like, it's Friday, right?
It is.
So if we do go to the restraining order and he does find out about it before whatever they stop doing at 5 o'clock, then
He's
there's
going
Saturday,
to get
Sunday.
arrested before the restraining
Oh,
order is
yes.
filed. Okay, that's going to happen.
As soon as they
They're not.
find him.
Everybody is looking for him right now. You think I didn't call everybody I know?
So when they
because-
find him, they'll arrest him.
Yes. Yes. And he's either going to break down and I'm an emotional wreck and I did it and I'm sorry, or the other side of him is going to come out and go, she's crazy. I never did such a thing. You're insane. I would never do such a thing. Over what? I've got plenty of money. How do you get the new truck he's got?
Yeah, that's always been interesting to me because we've always had older cars, always paid for them in cash, never had payments. I assumed it was part of his midlife crisis where he was doing these prostitutes and wants part of his image. But where he got the money from, for me, the person that I knew to get a mortgage for a car or whatever would never do that. Like, so
So you had to have the cash.
I'm thinking that
Probably
he
$50,000,
either he had the cash, which I don't think he did, but that he's now living this life where he has payments and stuff. Like, that's just not how we lived. And so it's just a whole another area that's so different from how, because I'm assuming he has a monthly payment, which we would never have done. So that was just another way that he's just living this other lifestyle that Stafford ended up finding out about, thank goodness, because we would have never known. He says he's been doing it since I filed in August, and he said he started in September. And Stafford didn't find out until maybe 2 months ago, 6 weeks ago.
Just randomly looked through his phone.
He said he was acting really odd, and it had been for a while, and for some reason it was there, for some reason it was unlocked, and he went through it. And that's not Stafford's personality. Stafford took screenshots of everything. I mean, he was so smart.
And you told Kathy about it.
And he told Kathy about it. He waited 2 weeks, and every time Brian was gone, he would go through the house and take pictures of stuff he would find. And 2 weeks in, he told Kathy, I know something about Brian I need to tell you and Denise. And he told us. And we had no idea.
And see, he doesn't even care about his little son
And he didn't
because he's
stop.
doing that stuff in his own
And he didn't
house.
stop. I know.
These people he owes money to, they call it home invasion, but they come in and kick the door in. They'll shoot anybody over anything. Take Stafford hostage because he owes $2,000.
It's like, I know, it's like he's lost his mind because they came to his house. Stafford had pictures of them in the house.
Who?
The prostitutes.
Prostitutes in his house. From his phone? From Brian's phone?
Yeah, Stafford's got it all. Or
See,
Kathy has it all.
Denise, he just doesn't even care anymore.
That
I don't think he ever has.
One thing he told me today was he has nothing to lose. That's what he kept saying, I have nothing to lose. I have nothing to lose. But he calmed down, and when he left, he was crying. He said, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry.
Years ago when Mike Phillips and those guys at FDLE wanted to talk to you and Brian, y'all went and talked to him, why not?
I talked to Mike. I talked to Mike.
But they wanted you to come in and do an interview, and y'all didn't do it.
We did 2 interviews. We did interviews with, like, not local people. It was like federal people. I did one, he did one, and I think we did another one. But it was always in an attorney's office, and I don't remember. Mike Phillips came to my house one time, and I talked with him there. But the official ones were with federal people, and it was more than one.
With a lawyer.
at an attorney's office, and they recorded it all, from what I remember.
Your attorney or Brian's attorney?
Well, I mean, he's an attorney who is friends with the Winchesters.
Who set that up?
Who set up the meeting?
Well, who set up the lawyer?
Oh, I would guess Marcus, because he's in that same little area where they all work together. I don't know, I don't really remember, but I do remember the location of the interviews were at the attorney's office, which is the same parking lot as Winchester Financial Group. Because I remember having to go there twice, I think, or 3 times.
What all they asked you, do you remember? Did y'all talk to him?
Yeah. We answered all these questions. I think there's a recording. I don't know. I don't remember. But I know it was definitely more than once. Because I think it was like me separate, him separate, and then us together. Maybe that was it. And I remember the location. But that's all I remember. And if Mike and them had contacted the attorney and asked him if we would meet with him, he might have said no. But I don't remember saying no to Mike, because I remember him coming to the house.
You think the attorney said, no, we're not going to talk to him?
Well, I don't know, I'm just saying that could have happened, because but Mike, I mean, would come to the house. So I don't know. I don't know about that. All that I don't remember. But it should be recorded somewhere. I don't know. I cannot believe this happened. And Ansley's so upset. I just want us to be safe, and I know at your house we are, but other than that, I mean, we go to work, we go to school.
And a piece of paper, an injunction, or electronic monitoring doesn't stop me from sitting in a parking lot waiting for you to kill you.
So what am I gonna do?
You're going to go forward with this and make sure that you continue telling the story and don't back off of it.
No.
And don't let him manipulate you into backing away or not testifying, because he's going to take it all the way.
But I told everything exactly how it happened. I did not exaggerate or lie.
I don't think you did either. And I'm glad you called me. I'm glad you didn't do what you told him you were going to do, because
It seemed like it could.
I don't know how you got away today.
I just kept praying.
I don't know how you got away. But in your mind, every time you think about feeling sorry for him, I want you to think about what he did, what he brought with him, and how calculating he was. Okay? You just got very, very fortunate today.
I know that. But I just don't want to go through that ever again.
That's why you got to keep going forward on this. And as you think about things, and
I
I know
will.
it's hard. I can't leave the mic thing alone, because I'm telling you,
I know.
Denise,
I'll
He-
start thinking about
he
all
not
this.
only did that, he choreographed the recovery of Mike's waiters. I was there for a week. And maybe that's what the fright is, that, oh, I'm going to get in trouble for that. Well, that's his doing. He did that. Okay? But I'm telling you, he is so manipulative. He is a murderer. He killed Mike. And I'm pretty sure the reason he was going to kill you today is he was afraid you was going to do or say something, or had speculation. And yeah, the financial is a big part of it, but I think it's way bigger than just the financial, because he had plenty of resources. He was going to get money from the house, going to get money from the business being sold, the rental, the whole 9 yards. It wasn't just to take all that from you. It's bigger.
I guess I first just have to
Can you at
just
least
picture that he would have killed me today. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I just never. But you're right. Why would? Yeah. I mean, I see what
Denise,
you're
I'm going to
saying.
kill
I see what you're
myself if you
saying.
don't come back to me. Well, if you come back to me, it's all said and good. But if you don't come back to me, I'm going to take you out in the woods. I'm going to dig a hole, and I'm going to kill you, and no one's ever going to find you. And I came prepared to make sure that no one ever found out who did it.
If they go through the backpack, can you tell me like what exactly was in it? Like, I mean, I know for sure there was sheet in it, but I want to know exactly. I know for sure.
Can you wrap your mind around the fact that he wasn't there to hurt himself today?
Well, then I thought, well, maybe he was just sleeping and needed a sheet to sleep with.
Yeah, he didn't sleep, or he didn't go to sleep at midnight waiting for you. He showed up shortly beforehand, probably while it's still dark, snuck through the backyard, got in your car, and sat there and waited for you. brought all that stuff, okay? And I have no doubt that he did it the same way with the mic. He came prepared.
Bleach.
Yeah, just like television or Google or anything else. He's done this before. He knew what to do. They found nothing when Mike disappeared. Nothing. That is unbelievable. He's calculating. He's cold. I hate to know the confrontation between him and Mike. I'm sure it was at gunpoint. But Mike thinking he's a friend. But there's no doubt there was a confrontation.
I just never...
Do you think Mike came home for lunch that day?
Huh?
You think Mike came home for lunch that day?
Came home for lunch?
Yeah. I don't, he was
I
always at the office
No, I don't know. I remember it was our anniversary trip
the next day.
the next day. I remember that. I don't remember a lunch. But I just...
But do you think Mike would have come home from Ketchum to have lunch that day?
I have no idea. I'll have to look back at my notes and stuff. I don't even remember. I just remember we had reservations.
I always assumed it happened. I always assumed that he got Mike at the office. I mean, I would always see Mike. I worked midnights back then, 9 to, or 10 to 8 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I would always see Mike sitting up there working. And every now and then, maybe once a month, I'd stop in or catch him on his way out or whatever, say hello. But I always thought that that's where he got him. But the timeline doesn't match up. He was missing during the day.
Mike wasn't seen during the day?
Mm-hmm. Brian was.
I remember being home with Ansley and making phone calls. I remember her crib. She had a crib.
It was a Friday, right?
But I remember that he was supposed to be there because we were gonna go and a babysitter was coming or Deanna was coming. I haven't thought.
That was on Saturday.
I don't know. But I remember making calls and holding her and she was a baby. But I talked to her.
I just always wondered where and what, how, but it certainly wasn't the lake. What time was Mike supposed to go to the lake? I mean, I didn't even find out until 10 o'clock that night.
I have no idea. I don't know any of that right now. He was hunting in the morning and he was gonna go with a friend he had from work, a young kid. I can't think of his name right now. He's moved to Jacksonville. I don't know.
I don't either. But I need you to wrap your mind around that because I'm telling you, Denise, it's outside looking in. He was a part of that. And today was just an extension of who he is. He's not afraid to kill someone. And why he didn't kill you today was maybe it's a public place, or maybe you hit the right chord with him. Maybe you said exactly what he wanted to hear.
I was saying, you know.
But I think it's more, it was where it was. And he doesn't want to get caught. He wants to live. He wants to keep doing what he's doing.
Well, that's why I don't think he's going to kill himself.
There's no way he's going to kill himself unless he gets cornered and realizes that it's over for me.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But he didn't come there to kill himself this morning. And it wasn't going to be kill myself or kill you and kill myself, because why would he bring the influence to bury you and cover up his tracks? It was there to murder you. That's a horrible thing to think about, but that's the truth. You need to.
I know, and what you're saying makes total sense. Yeah, it makes total sense. Well, then that makes me even more scared.
You should be scared. I'm scared. I mean, there is no safe place for us. We're going to have to stay together. That's why there's a cop at Johnny's house now. Who's to say, you might think, that's the only thing I got to think of is where would you go when he can't find you at work? It would be Johnny's. And she sure doesn't need us, and you have to decide how much you're going to tell her. She really needs to know the whole thing, which I hate to do to her. It might kill her, I don't know. But she needs to be aware, because at some point, not everyone's going to be around everybody like we are.
Right.
And who's to stop him from taking Johnny and directing you?
And as far as the divorce goes, we have a deadline of Wednesday for stuff that he's not going to do. And so with that, I should just keep pursuing that, just keep on that.
Why would you not?
I don't know. Just
Him being
when I
arrested,
think
they
about
slow it
him
down,
being
but-
mad and then more stuff adding on to it, but yeah, I mean, yeah, if he's in jail.
Did ever anybody text you?
I know Deanna's been, I hope they got,
Then I went to get the keys.
I hope they got in the car and got, whatever they needed from out of there. Deanna said a thought, did he do this to put off the court date so he can be declared incompetent? I don't know.
Don't answer.
I'm not.
You tell me, what do you think he did? What did he do? You think he was doing it to be,
I mean, as these court dates have loomed, that's when he's appeared. Normally, he just, I guess, goes about doing his prostitute things. But he appears in my life when a court date looms, like last time, he showed up at work. And this time, way more extreme, he did this. I tie it to these court dates because as the court dates come, it gets closer and closer to being officially over. That's what I tie it to. And I figured he might show up at work again just because I knew a court date was coming, but I would have never pictured this. And I want to go ahead and tell the Leafers and the Martins and the Rays because they know everything, they know about the prostitutes, they know everything up to now. So I want to update them and give a description of the truck and just stuff like that.
but can you now wrap it around your head what he was gonna do?
To me, I mean, I guess so.
So I guess you gotta understand. I wouldn't lie to you, I wouldn't.
And he didn't do it because,
He was gonna kill you, Denise.
but he didn't do it because I told him that I didn't tell him we could move on from this, but basically I kind of just agreed with whatever.
Let me go out there and see what they want to do about the injunction and all that stuff, see if they've.
Yeah, I don't want to wait too long and not be able to do it. I mean, it's 3:15.
There's no time frame, we get it done no matter what.
And then do you think they were going to go through the car and, I guess, fingerprint and stuff? I don't know. They were going
They
to.
probably will swap for DNA if he touched the seatbelt, because his thing will be, I wasn't there.
Oh,
Because he hasn't been in that car in how
No.
long?
Yeah, almost 4 years.
Right, so his DNA doesn't last that long. So yeah, they'll probably be able to swap
Well,
things and say, yeah, you were in
okay,
the
but
car.
where the seatbelt goes in, where the red thing is, I mean, he held on to that for a long time, so that should, but I did use it to unbuckle, so okay.
He was in the back seat, touched
And then
things
that
in the back, there's
door,
doors.
that's right, I told him everything.
Did
Okay.
you not lock the doors last night?
I don't know, but when I started thinking about it, he did have a set of keys to that car, so I always lock the car, so I'm probably like 90-something% sure I did, but
But you still
I
have
never
your stuff.
thought to rekey the car. So there's a possibility he's
Let's
got
see
keys.
what they want to do, what they found out. Oh.
And your back hurts?
Oh, yeah, it'll get better, it's a normal thing. Has he texted
No,
anymore?
no.
Just that one?
That was Ainsley, yeah, just the one.
All right. Now Ansley is with Justin. All right, let me go see what they're doing.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Fine. We have never met. My name is Mike Devaney. How you doing? Do you know that name at all?
No?
Okay, I'm with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. Okay. I've literally known you and I've known your family for many, 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 many years. Okay. The reason I say that is, I've been looking into Mike's disappearance. Okay. Literally dissected as much as I could about you, members of your family, Brian, Mike, and, his family, and the family when you and Mike were together, okay? Worked with a lot of people, trying to figure out the whole scenario of his disappearance, and had to go back and literally reinvestigate a lot of things that was investigated before, okay? And again, I had to go back to y'all's marriage and what were you doing during those times, what were you doing job-wise, and Mike, and Mike's employer, the whole works, okay? What you all own, what you didn't own, and this has been an ongoing process for a long time. And you need to understand that, okay? You know, I used to know your gate code by heart and going in your neighborhood. I know your house very well. You know, I know when you took the carpet out, the whole works. You know, there's a whole lot I don't know, okay? Please understand that.
Talking about the hardwood floors upstairs?
You name it, I know about it.
Okay.
Okay. I want to talk to you about a couple of things, and maybe you can fill in a couple of gaps for me. Can you do that for me?
I can try.
Okay. Obviously, the reason I'm here, I know about what happened today, okay? And like the other officer said, you're going to have to, it's going to have to sink in that today was going to be your last day. Please let that sink in. I mean, he didn't have sheets to sleep on, you know, tonight or the night before or the night after. He had plastic and he had some other object. And what was that other object he had? Could you tell? Can you describe it?
It was, I mean, it was like maybe wide. It wasn't a hammer, but it was kind of that size and maybe wider. I have no idea what it was.
Small folding shovel?
No, it wasn't a shovel. I mean, it was like it definitely wasn't a shovel. But it was about the length of like a hammer.
Okay.
But it seemed to be fatter the way that he grabbed it. But
When y'all were going towards CVS, it's from what I can understand, he wanted to turn around and go the other way.
He kept saying go to the roundabout, and I think he was wanting me to go back, but I wasn't really listening. I wasn't really listening. I was just trying to get to CVS.
Where do you think Mike's buried at?
Oh, I have no idea.
Any speculation on that?
On where he's buried?
Buried.
I mean, I believe...
You don't really believe he died on the lake?
I do.
Why?
I just always have. That's what I believe. And I have, from when he was saying roundabout, I don't know, I talked with the last two people, and I can't remember if he wanted me to turn left or right.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
Oh.
Why do you think Mike perished in the lake? Because he didn't die in Lake Seminole, okay?
That's what I've always believed, that's what I believe.
And why?
I've never been proven anything different.
Well, is there been any proof if he would have perished in that lake, he would have been found, okay? There's never been a person that has fallen over or whatever that they've never found except for Mike. I mean, that's literally, it's an impossibility that he died in that lake.
I guess that's just what I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you knew all the information about, you know, what was recovered out there and all that, right?
My dad would keep me updated,
Yeah. You had this big monster search and none of that, and then later it just appears. I mean, that kind of led investigators go in different directions than what they initially thought, okay? I mean, I was even curious. I mean, I recovered the car y'all used to have during that time. I got it from a junkyard in Alabama, brought it back here and tore it apart. The little boat that Mike had, a little Ginu boat, I found it over in Monticello, brought it back. I just wanted to get a good look at it. You know, there's a whole lot of stuff. You don't have a clue what we've looked at. And we've certainly come to the conclusion that Mike did not, again, perish or die on Lake Seminole. Okay? Please understand that. You know, we've kind of tracked what's been going on in y'all's lives, again, before Mike disappeared all the way till now. Okay, we knew about the divorce stuff. You know, we knew about people living in different places and the whole works. Talked to Kathy, she probably didn't tell you that. Or she may have, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. And you seem to say you don't have a clue whatever happened to Mike. Were you and I guess you, Mike, Kathy, and Brian, y'all are pretty close before Mike disappeared, right?
Yeah.
How close were y'all?
I mean, I would say we talked pretty much every day. We were very close.
Yeah.
I'm still very close with Kathy.
Yeah, I know that. I mean, again, we've researched, you know, trips y'all used to make to Orlando and some other stuff. Apparently you were really close, okay? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't, me and Kathy still, she's texting me right now, so we're still very close.
Okay. If I say we're totally aware of all the videos, you probably know what I'm talking about.
If you say what?
The videos?
I would have to see them.
Oh, no, that's not gonna happen. But
Okay.
you're clueless when I say videos.
I don't, yeah,
You, Kathy and Brian?
I would have to see them.
Yeah. You have no idea what I'm talking about. You don't say you've got to see it.
No, I'm just starting to feel very uncomfortable,
Okay.
but,
Well, I've been uncomfortable for a long time because we needed some things on this case.
right,
And we were hoping one day that either Brian or you maybe could fill in some of the gaps there, fill in a piece of the puzzle.
right. But I guess right now, I need to focus on this and what happened this morning, and I want to get this restraining order done by 5 o'clock, and I want me and my daughter to be safe, and that's what I'm
Well,
focused on.
there's no doubt that Brian's going to be located and put in jail. So I would imagine he's not going to immediately be bonded out under the circumstances and the crimes that he has committed, okay?
I don't know. But I just want to get this restraining order done so that I can have a little peace
Yeah.
for tonight with my daughter. That's what I'm focused on
Well,
right now.
if he is arrested, in the next few hours, which I'm sure is going to happen, Leon County is very good about finding people, okay? That's going to happen. When Brian is arrested, which will happen, he is going to probably provide another side of whatever happened today. You're
This
aware of that?
morning? On this morning?
Yeah.
I have no idea what he's going to say.
Well, that's what people usually do. They give their side of something. Take care of that.
Yeah, I don't know.
What if
I don't
he-
know what he's going to say. I have no idea.
Yeah, what if he starts talking about the past, way in the past?
Then he might, I don't know. I have no idea what he's going to say.
Yeah, no idea.
No.
What if he starts talking about
admits
the
it.
disappearance of Mike?
I hope he admits this morning. I hope he admits what he did. If they ask him about Mike, I have no idea. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah. Well, has Kathy ever talked about Mike's disappearance? Or not Mike's, but Brian's disappearance? The day Mike disappeared?
I don't remember.
You don't remember that?
No. I'd have to, I can text her right now.
No,
I don't
no,
remember.
No,
Okay.
I want to hear from you, okay?
I don't-
Brian just disappeared.
I
Kathy's
okay.
ever talked about that?
I'd have to talk with her. But again, I want to focus on this, and if you,
Well, this is
I
kind of-
understand that this is what you want to talk about.
Well, this thing today, is kind of a done deal. We know what happened. It's going to be verified in the video and all that.
I hope-
Whether Brian admits to what he did to you today, he did it.
Right,
And once they arrest him, I'm sure they're going to find some of the things that you talked about.
I hope so.
And that's kind of a done deal, okay? But obviously, things have been building for a long, long time.
Well, we've been separated for a long time.
Yeah.
But for me, again, I want to file this restraining order before 3:30, before 5. So I don't know,
Yeah.
it's 3:30 right now. I just want to make sure that I have time to do that. That's
Okay.
my priority right
Okay,
now.
well, I know what time it is. All right. I know the other officer talked to you about a lot of different things, okay, about what's been going on and everything, okay? I wish I could just fill in some of the pieces of the puzzle. I'd much rather get it from you than from Brian, because when he's arrested, I'm gonna talk to him too.
That's
I
fine.
want to see what he says, okay? He may say some things you don't want to hear, I don't know.
Well, I have no idea.
You're
I guess we'll
not a
see.
clue, not a clue.
I don't even know what he's going to say about this morning.
Well, this morning's a done deal, okay? We know what happened, you told us, and again, there's gonna be a pretty good video, and I'm sure that they're gonna find some of the things that you talked about. So that's solved, so to speak, okay? I think it was my phone, you heard.
Oh, that's funny, my attorney's calling me. Let me just see real quick. Okay, sorry.
Is that all right? All right.
But I guess what I'm saying is about the Mike situation that you want to talk about. I don't want to talk about this right now.
Right. Would you talk about it later?
I don't want to talk about this right now. I want to get this settled first.
This is settled.
It's not settled to me, though. I have not gone down. I have not filed the restraining order, and that's what is pressing on me so bad. So I understand that you want to talk about this, but this is what I want to do. This is what has to be done.
Yeah, you
today.
You got some time. We're almost done. All right. Well, you know why it's so important to talk to you about Mike. I mean, this was your husband. He simply vanished. Hopefully you still have an interest in that.
Well, again, this is my priority right now, and I'm not comfortable talking about this right now. I've had an unbelievable day, and
I know you have.
it's just all too much right now. I really want to focus on
Has it sunk in that you literally saved your own life today?
All I know is I was praying.
Well,
I don't even know how
you did the right thing coming
I
here,
don't-
you know that.
I mean, we'll see.
I don't think there's any seeing about it, considering what he had in the back of your vehicle. You know, that's a clue right
I
there.
was just doing the best I could, and.
Well, you saved your life. I just want that to sink in.
Now I just want my daughter and I to continue to be safe, and that's why I'm so worried about this. That's why I can't even focus on that, because all I'm focused on is us and getting through this night when he's going to find out that I told, after I promised him over and over and over that I wouldn't tell anyone. And when he finds out,
Well, when somebody does this to you and has a gun involved, they can't really expect you just to ignore that.
Well, but I had set up where I wouldn't tell anyone, and I would meet him later in the day. at
Well,
his
yeah, you were
office.
saying everything, because
Yeah.
literally at that
Yeah.
point, you had to say something again.
Right.
You had to keep saying this, but it's true to save your life.
Right,
And it worked.
and he, I guess, pretty agreed to that, and then left, and then I was supposed to meet him and his dad about now, today, to talk about it.
He goes and buys a gun and do something very, very horrible. Okay?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or whatever. He did that. Okay?
Yeah.
And he stuck in your vehicle, and there he was. He didn't knock on your door and say, let's talk about it.
No.
All right?
No.
Look what he did. I mean,
And I guess I still just can't even believe it.
well, you're going to have to believe that you're alive right now. All right?
And I'm very
That's pretty darn
grateful.
important. Yeah, absolutely. And he's going to be arrested under some very, very serious charges.
Do you know the procedure as far as like when I file this, if he's already arrested, then he's just arrested, but then when he'll get out, like tomorrow, right? Or, I don't know how it works,
I
but,
have no idea what sort of bond they're going to put on him.
so it depends on
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But when he's out, he can just do whatever, right?
Well, let's hope he doesn't do whatever. Hope it's finally sunk in that he's screwed up. And you're going to go through the court stuff, and hopefully that'll sink in too, that he's upset to come
I'm just
around.
worried about that long period of time where I know, like if he gets arrested, there won't be a court date for a long time, and it's that time I'm worried about. That's where he's out, knows that I told when I promised I wouldn't.
He can't be that stupid to think that you're not going to tell.
I don't know, but I'm just worried about that time in between, and I'm worried about me and my daughter and where we're going to live and how we're going to be safe. I don't even have a dog.
Yeah. Well, what we have seen, we've seen a side of Mike, not Mike, but Brian, that we knew was there, and it surfaced again. Okay? Because again, we've kind of tracked his history. And we also know, Mike vanishes. So.
Well, I myself have never seen anything like what I saw this morning. Never.
Well, what about the Atlanta episode?
It wasn't a person, but that was on a whole, this took it to a whole nother, that was nothing compared to this. But when he left, when he got out of the truck, he was crying, I'm so sorry, and said like back, calm and not that person anymore. That's how I left him, and that's how I want him to stay, and then me coming here and filing this and him finding out.
That's the way you want him to stay. You really think he would never explode like this again?
I would have never thought he would have done this, so I don't
Well,
ask me,
now
because
you-
I have no, obviously, he's capable of what he did today because he did it. So.
Do you think he's responsible for Mike's disappearance?
I do not, and I never have. I would have never married him if I thought that. I would have never wanted so bad to have children with him. I would have, I mean, in my mind and in my heart, no. David is my brother-in-law, and he was just in here talking to me about trying to get me to understand that, you know, that my life was in danger today.
Absolutely.
And then having me to look back on that whole situation now from a different point of view. And I'm definitely going to do that. But do I believe right here in this moment that he had anything to do with that? Absolutely not.
With Mike?
Yeah, does that mean that I'm not going to process this and then go back? Of course I am. But I've got to process this first. And I know you understand that.
Sure. Well, process this, but please, when you find time to go back, you need to process a whole lot about whatever happened. Because in studying this whole situation, we knew that one day there would be a blow up. We predicted that.
There was.
Oh, I don't think it's finished yet as far as people talking about different things.
No, but I just mean between me and him this morning was a blow up.
Yeah, it was. And again, I'm still like a broken record, but I hope it is sinking in how bad it could have been.
I think it'll take some time, but I'm realizing the depths of what could have happened, yeah.
You know, when you don't carry that stuff and have a gun, you know, to sleep with it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Or you say something, you thought maybe the sheets were used, or he was getting used for sleeping or whatever. No, I don't think so. You don't have plastic and whatever the other two was. But
And again, I hope that backpack's still there. I hope they can, whoever, the police can pull it out and see exactly, you know what I'm saying? Because it was a turn, you know, a couple glimpses and that was it. But I'm pretty sure I'm right. But I would like to know myself, did I see this right? Did I, you know what I mean? Like, what was in there? I would like to know.
we'll find out.
Just to confirm.
When they find him, I'm sure that they'll eventually get to whatever that was. All right?
I hope so.
That's down the road.
I hope so.
I just want everything to sink in about, I'm not going to say I'm not concerned about this, I am, but you're alive.
Right.
I'm talking about the other.
Right.
There's a whole lot of people want some closure to that.
Right.
We all think we've got a pretty good idea of what happened, what the whole scenario was. Okay? You need to know that.
Okay.
So,
And I will. I'll get through this and then rethink everything.
And-
Because again, I've never seen anybody this way that he was this morning, and I've definitely never seen him this way. Just awful. He was just crazy.
Right.
He was crazy.
well, I'm going to go out, I'm going to find somebody to share themselves to take care of the other matters.
The restraining order stuff.
No,
Okay,
no.
thank you.
But I'm going to leave on this note. I was hoping you could fill in some of the pieces of that puzzle. You haven't. We arrest Brian, he might. Okay?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Well, just think about
Okay.
what you said. all right?
Okay,
Let me see if I can find somebody to take care of
thank you.
whatever you're doing.
processing it.
Were they able to get in the car, do you know, in my car?
Yeah, they're processing it. Okay. You talked to Melissa earlier.
Yeah, I'm anxious about, I really want to file the restraining order,
Okay.
because it's Friday and there's,
Well, it's too late to do it at the courthouse now. It's not a problem. He's in custody.
oh yeah.
We have him. To get an injunction, you'll go to the courthouse, or to the jail tomorrow morning
Go to the jail.
at 8 o'clock, and you can fill out the paperwork. Melissa said she'll meet you, and
Well, my brother-in-law can go, she doesn't really have to, my brother-in-law's a policeman, he can go with me.
Okay,
8 a.m. at the jail,
correct,
where is that?
right behind us.
Oh,
If you go down further on Apple Yard,
uh-huh.
you'll see the main entrance to the jail.
Okay, so I file the injunction there.
Correct. You can fill out the paperwork and everything, because they do first appearance over there,
Okay.
and that's at the time that the judge will review them on the
Okay,
weekend.
okay, all right, oh, good.
This is Melissa's information,
Okay.
information she left for you.
Do I need to tell her that she doesn't need to come at 8, or?
I'll call her.
Okay, thank you.
If you decide you want her,
Okay.
call her. Her cell phone number's on the back,
Okay,
and
okay.
if you need anything. As far as the injunction goes, did she explain to you what you do? Okay, you'll basically write a little story about what took place and why you need an injunction.
Okay,
He'll be served unless depending on what the bond is, he'll probably be served at the jail, so he'll know about it before he gets out, probably. But you'll fill out an affidavit of why you need it, and a little story about what happened today or anything else that you want to put in there from
Okay.
the past 4 years.
okay,
The judge will review that. There'll be a hearing within 15 days. First, you'll get a temporary injunction.
Okay.
There'll be a hearing within 15 days, which would be his side to say his side of the story.
okay,
And the judge will decide at that time whether to continue the injunction or not.
okay,
Okay? But you'll get all that stuff.
okay.
Do you have any questions for us at this time?
Can you tell me, was he at work? Did you find him at work, or can you tell me?
I believe they found him in the parking lot.
At work, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So they arrested him and charged him with what?
Well, right now, he's in custody for a few things as far as this goes, as far as charges come out. I can call you and let you know what the charges are.
I was just wondering if you knew.
But, well, we're gonna complete the
Okay.
investigation and see
Okay.
what all the charges we have, because we do have, no, we don't believe you, there's more than one story to everything. And but based on what you described, we've got ag assault, firearm, and false imprisonment. It,
Do you need this stuff about, because he is actively using prostitutes, and we have text messages and stuff from his own phone where it's like proof. Do you need any of that, or that's not important?
no,
Okay.
not at this point. As far as all the other stuff, where you'd be a good thing to go through, with your, whatever you went through with the hearings at court and everything.
Okay, okay.
That's more so for that type of stuff.
And do you know with him being, so he got arrested and went to jail, to the jail?
No, he's not in jail yet.
Oh, well, did they arrest him? Or what did they do in the parking lot, like?
They brought him back here. He's in this building.
Oh, and then what will happen?
We're gonna interview him based on everything that took place.
Okay.
And, then we'll go forward there with the investigation. Like I said, we can call you and let you know the outcome, because we're also, still looking for the stuff you described that came out of the vehicle.
Okay. So he's here in the building and y'all will talk to him, but then will he just leave?
No, he'll be going next door more than likely.
He'll be going to the jail, okay. And then I'll be there at 8 to turn in, basically it's paperwork, right? That I'll be doing tomorrow at 8?
Yeah, you'll fill it out and the judge will review it and everything tomorrow morning.
Okay. Well, are you gonna talk with him? Or are you gonna be
I
one of the
won't,
ones to
but-
interview him? Oh, I mean,
Well,
I hope he tells the truth, but, I mean, if he doesn't, I've told everything that
I understand.
everything that happened exactly how it happened. I mean, the only proof, I guess, would be that CVS camera, other than he said, she said, and then hopefully they can find that backpack with all that stuff in it.
That's what we're hoping for.
But every single thing I said was true, and it was not exaggerated, and we'll just see what he says, but.
Okay. One other thing, I don't know if you remember me, we graduated together,
What's your name again?
Brian Bishop.
Oh my
With
gosh.
this other stuff that they're talking to you about,
About Mike?
really need to think hard
I
about.
am. I mean, after talking with, David McCraney, he wasn't here, he's my brother-in-law. Yeah, he gave me a lot to think about. It's just overwhelming, though, I tell you. It's just, this morning, this person, I've never seen him before, and to have to come to terms with what could have happened this morning, I can't even process that verbally yet, much less inside, and then to go back and think about all those times and all that, that stuff, yes, I'm going to. I have to. I mean, I have to, because I saw someone that I've never seen before today.
And it's been not displayed to you for all this time, and there's no telling what will happen next time, because they will do a court order for once it gets booked, they'll do no contact order. Still say get the injunction.
Okay.
Because that covers, they're both similar, but the one, if it continues, it can build it up to a felony.
Okay.
But like I said, we can call you and let you know what's going on, what the charges are.
That would be great.
And everything else. The information packet has different stuff that she had. But as far as the other goes, whatever happened to Mike, you don't want that same thing to happen.
Oh, no.
So, I mean,
I feel so
personally,
fortunate this morning.
no, we've known each other, we hadn't seen each other in a long time, we've known each other one time. Stuff you described he was getting out of the back did not sound good at all. At all.
No.
That,
And it never dawned on me until David started saying, why would he, why would, and everything David said made perfect sense. And that's very scary.
yes.
Can I ask you this though? You said he's here and he's gonna be interviewed and stuff. So for sure he'll go over to the jail and spend the night there, or not for sure? Like, you just don't know? I mean, I'm just kinda wondering where he's gonna be, because he's gonna be mad, that's what I'm asking.
Everything with our investigation, more than likely,
okay.
because we do have a deputy at CBS, so
Okay.
when the detectives went there
Okay,
to review the
okay,
video.
okay,
So
okay.
we're taking multiple steps to do the charge.
Okay, and I mean, I know David, his family will let us stay with him, this weekend. I can't live with him forever, but I have to get to a point where me and my daughter, we feel safe, and I do not feel safe
Well, if
at all.
you knew something about Mike with him, and that information was able to come out, and he was charged with it, he wouldn't be getting help.
And me and David already discussed that he has threatened suicide so many different times. I don't think people that threaten suicide follow through. In other words, I don't think he's gonna commit suicide.
A lot of times it is a threat, sometimes people that have threatened it for years wind up doing it out of the blue, so.
Why, I mean, I didn't even know coming here was the right thing to do.
It was
but
absolutely the right thing to do.
I just felt like I didn't have a choice.
If you didn't report this to us today, and the same exact thing happened tonight or tomorrow,
Right,
we wouldn't
You
have
wouldn't
had
have
any
known.
idea
Right.
what took place
Right.
this morning.
right. So it was the right thing to
And
do.
yes, absolutely. No two ways about it. And if you hadn't, there's no telling what, I mean, he was in your vehicle. That's scary as hell to begin with.
But now, like, that visual, I mean, it just like, even trying to think about Mike right now, I just can't, because all I can see in the rearview mirror is that image of him coming. I mean, it was terrifying.
I'm sure.
And I cannot believe I didn't wreck the car. I mean, I can't, along Miccosukee Road, the ditches and how it's so narrow.
Narrow and everything.
I can't believe I didn't wreck the car. I've never been so scared in my life.
And
No.
I can tell you from doing this pretty much since we graduated, it don't get any better.
So then coming here was the right thing to do.
Absolutely. Whenever, the way I describe some things with domestic violence and different things, people don't go into a relationship or get married because somebody's already beaten them. That's like throwing a frog in hot water. It's going to jump out.
Right.
But you get in lukewarm water and the heat gets turned up,
It doesn't ever go back.
And it winds up burning you because you don't realize how it's happening so quick. Whatever the time frame it takes to do.
So the best I can do for my safety and my daughter's is to file this thing in the morning at 8.
Correct.
I mean, I'll hear from you guys, I guess, and then stay with my brother-in-law and his wife. That's Deborah Merrill. Stay with them, and then what? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I go to work Monday, and they start school. It's very scary. And we don't own guns. We don't even have a dog. Like, we don't have a security system.
One thing to consider. You were talking earlier about having to change the lock so much and everything else. The security system wouldn't be bad at all.
I'll definitely do that. Okay. So
But
it's just,
as far as anything else, if you hear something suspicious outside, see something suspicious,
oh, and I'm going to tell my neighbors too, because they all
call.
know the situation.
We'll respond, and
Okay.
whether it's, well, we responded to prowlers, it was a raccoon on a roof. We'll respond and
Can
check it
y'all,
out.
it's a gated community, can y'all get in? Like, can you get in without knowing the
Where you
gate code? Or it's called Mendiak Plantation off of Miccosukee Road?
Yep.
You can get in, okay, I just want to make sure. Okay. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, because if you guys talk to him, and, well, at whatever point he gets to walk out of the jail, that's when, I mean, I need to know, because that's when I need to be on high alert. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to know that, and I'll know that I'm going to know.
Where's that packet she gave you? I think there's part of Vine in there.
It's what?
Explains Vine.
Yeah.
Which is, yeah, it'll tell you how to do stuff to be notified.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. All right, well, then I'll do that for sure. Because at that point, whenever that time comes, that's when he's going to be the maddest at me. You know what I'm saying? Because I promised him I wouldn't do this. That's one of the reasons I got out.
And like I said, if he had something to do with the other, which,
Obviously,
You know, people
this man,
think that.
obviously that man thinks so. I can't remember his name, but, oh, yeah, I know, but I just, who else, well, David.
But if him going in on these charges,
It did, yeah, compared to the other charges.
a big difference. Huge difference. That would be a no bond.
I understand.
Okay.
All right, I appreciate it.
No
Oh,
problem
thank
if you need
you.
anything.
Okay, but you won't be here to see him tonight. You won't, but other people will. Brian.
Oh, I've already seen him,
Oh, you have?
just in passing.
Oh, but okay, because I was gonna
He-
say.
Like I said, he's here.
Okay, I was gonna say, can you tell me what he's saying? Okay, but, yeah, I mean, again, I hope that he tells the truth, but I don't know, I have no idea what he's gonna say.
Okay.
But I have told the truth, and that's all I can do, right?
That's it?
And pray.
Okay, definitely.
Now, are they done with my car? They needed to do stuff with my
You're
car?
done with it, and if I can walk you down through it.
Okay, I need a trash can for all of this. Thank you so much.
Mentor Lawyer, Tallahassee, Florida. Mentor Lawyer, Sandestin, Florida.